year was a fluke, and he wants to get himself back to where he believes he should be in his career. That's a great first start to see. You just want to see him continue throughout spring and into the regular season.
So Cole Irvin, he'll go a little bit longer today as the Orioles and the Yankees meet up for the first of 2 times in Grapefruit League play. Baseball is coming up next at Ed Smith Stadium.
Let's go.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
This spring is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. But hurry, these offers end soon.
Is a job for someone with autism. This is a job for someone with autism. So is this. That job? Also perfect. Businesses value diversity, but sometimes overlook the unique strengths and abilities of the autism community. Introducing WIN, the Workplace Inclusion Now program by Autism Speaks. We bridge the gap and help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring. Yes, these are all jobs for someone with autism. To learn more and lead the way in inclusive hiring, go to autismspeaks.org/win. Yep, that job too.
Orioles Baseball in Masson is brought to you by Royal Farms, real fresh, real fast, and by Central Atlantic Toyota. Better availability means better deals at your Toyota dealer. Shop buyatoyota.com. As we are ready to get underway today in Sarasota, the Orioles and the New York Yankees, wind blowing out to left center, and Cole Irvin's first pitch is lined into right field to open up the game as Anthony Volpe starts off the game with an opposite field single and sends Alex Verdugo up. Check out the Yankees lineup. There are some regulars in there. Gleyber Torres, good numbers in his career against the Orioles. He's going into his walk year. Trent Grisham was another one as part of that Juan Soto trade with San Diego. So talk about a player that is trading spots. Alex Verdugo goes from the Red Sox to the Yankees. And Cole Irvin misses 1 ball and no strikes. And Verdugo, kind of a down stretch. Last few years haven't been his best. And any Yankees uniform, it should be a big part of their outfield. 1 ball and 1 strike against Alex Verdugo. He said this is the second spring start for Cole Irvin. The Orioles, they'll have Irvin pitch today. We might also hear from Mike Baumann, Nick Vespi, Dylan Tate, Wanderson Charles, and then also Julio Teheran, who was just acquired. Taken inside, 2 balls and a strike, or side, we should say. And Brad, here's a little bit more about Cole Irvin's season in 2023.
Yeah, Cole Irvin had better numbers in the second half last year. He's looking to improve them a little bit. He pitched 77 in the 3rd innings, which was on the lower end for his career to this point. But he's looking forward to having a big year this year.
2-2 into Verdugo. The Orioles realize they're going to need Cole Irvin because of the UCL sprain that was suffered by Kyle Bradish. It was announced the first day of spring. John Means is also about a month behind schedule. Runner at first base. Here's the 2-2. And Verdugo spoils it foul. We also heard today that John Means is probably not going to appear in any spring games, so it does open up an opportunity for Cole Irvin, and it also creates an opportunity for somebody like Tyler Wells. But But you were really pleased about how Irvin pitched in his first start against the Pirates.
Yeah, he looked really good. The velocity was up, and I think that's been one of the bigger points that have been brought up so far in spring.
Hayes, does he have enough room? No, he does not. It lands in the Yankees bullpen.
Almost everybody that's talked about Irvin has been impressed with what they saw and the work that he put in the offseason. So it's a good opportunity for him. And now that you're saying with some of these maybe extended losses of Means or other guys, he's going to have a longer leash to go out there and kind of prove himself again this year.
Gleyber Torres on deck, 2-2. And that one hit him. Now Verdugo gets hit with a breaking ball there from Cole Irvin as he lost the grip on his curveball, putting another man on base for the Yankees in this first inning.
Yeah, and sometimes that was his first fastball he threw. But here's the Orioles defense. We have a lot of regulars out there today. Hayes, Mullins, Kerstad in the outfield. Across the infield, we have exciting prospect Mayo, Mateo at shortstop, new acquired signing Colton Wong, Mountcastle at first, and the battery of Cole Irvin and Ali Rutschman.
Colton Wong signed to a minor league deal earlier on in the week. In Tehran, newcomers for the Orioles. Gleyber Torres stands in right now. And you get a very talented second baseman who's won a couple of Gold Gloves, who can contribute defensively. And then Tehran is a guy that, we'll talk about him a little bit later on, Brad, but a pretty darn good major league career himself.
Yeah, both those guys are huge additions to the team. And like you said, you're not expecting them to go out there and give all-star caliber years, but you know what they can provide. They give you a lot of depth, and they're going to give a lot of advice to these young guys, which the Orioles have, which is always a great thing to have in your clubhouse.
That is looped out to second. It is caught by Colton Wong, so he gets involved in the first inning. Everybody freezes, and there's one out.
And that's what you're going to see a lot from Cole Irvin. There's a lot of soft contact. He's got pitches moving both directions, and that's a good out right there, especially with men on first and second and right in the heart of the Yankees lineup. Pitch in the outer half, just off the end of the bat, and Cole Wong in the right position there, get the out.
Well, with one out and two men on base, it's going to send up Trent Grisham. Grisham comes over in the Juan Soto deal as well. He's going to be their fourth outfielder this year. $198, but if you look at the last 4 or 5 years, he's been one of the best defensive players in all of baseball.
Yeah, and I think that's what you expect from Trent when he's out there. He's going to play Gold Glove caliber defense, and he's going to hit some homers. You're not expecting him to hit 300, but I think last year maybe a little bit of a down year, but he gets a change of scenery, comes over to the Yankees, and he's going to get opportunity as their fourth outfielder.
Got it by him. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 94 miles an hour on that fastball by Cole Irvin, who topped 95.9 in his first start against the Pirates.
Yeah, and so far early this outing, there's been a lot of 94s, 195 up on the scoreboard, so really good to see from Cole Irvin. And you can tell with that last fastball, that's got some serious life to it. Trent Grisham's been around, and when he has a late swing like that, it tells you not only is the velocity good, but the life on it's really good too. Fastball out over the plate, and he's behind, and it's in the catcher's mitt by the time he swings.
Doesn't seem like that Irvin was chasing velocity, but because he spent so much time getting in shape and changing his routine, that he's getting some because of all of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I think velocity becomes a byproduct. I think a lot of people nowadays want to make that the main goal, but I think velocity can come as a byproduct of other changes you make, whether it's something mechanical, and maybe we'll get a shot to ask him about that later, what maybe the mechanical change that he found, because it could be something really little that unlocks added velocity.
Grisham will spoil another one.
And just another good fastball there. That one had pretty much the heart of the plate, but he's behind on it. And like I said, a major league hitter like Trent Grisham, he's not going to be late to too many fastballs. I know it's a little bit tougher when it's left on left, but that's a good indication there of, good life on the fastball.
This will be pitch number 7 to Grisham. Hits this one out to shallow right field. Here comes Kerstad, slides, and he makes the catch. Well done by Heston Kerstad. And again, everybody has to stay in place for the Yankees.
Yeah, really good jump on that ball there. Like I said, a lot of soft contact is going to happen with Cole Irvin with his pitches moving away from the lefty there. Another one off the end of the bat. Kerstead had a really good jump. First step is just in. He sees the ball up and just hard in and makes a really nice diving catch.
What had we heard earlier in the week about how Heston Kerstead, his defense has taken a step forward? We started to hear a little bit about that at the end of last year when he was working with Anthony Sanders, the Orioles outfield and first base coach, about how he had progressed. And, you know, we saw him also make a couple of good plays last week. One up against the wall in Bradenton against the Pirates. 1-1.
Yeah, I think a lot of times with teams is when you have as many big prospects or as many big hitters as the Orioles have, you have to do something to separate yourself. So whether that's on the defensive end, the base running side, there's got to be something that separates you from the other guys that are kind of all in the same pack together.
Soft ground ball. Colton Wong, another opportunity. And he'll throw him out at first base. So the first to reach, but nobody scores after a half. No score in Sarasota.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
This spring is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. But hurry, these offers end soon.
¿Qué color? Perfecto, mijo.
Gracias. Thank you.
What's wrong, mijo?
Donating to a pet's medical care is one of the many ways you can help families in your community. Pets and people belong together. Learn more at petsandpeopletogether.org.
Bottom half of the first inning in Sarasota. Nothing scores so far. Yankees get 2 men on base, but then Cole Irvin gets 3 straight outs. Adley Rutschman is in the 2 spot today. Another start for him at home. Ryan Mountcastle, Ryan O'Hearn, big day yesterday in Northport against the Atlanta Braves. And then you see Colton Wong, who just came to the Orioles batting out of the 7 spot. He had a couple of opportunities on defense in the top of the first as the Orioles look at Marcus Stroman. And Cedric Mullins will take a strike.
Yeah, Marcus Stroman coming back to the AL East, all familiar face for the Orioles fans. Last year with the Cubs, made 25 starts, had a little bit of injury problems in the second half. So signed here to the Yankees, and he's back in the AL East.
And Marcus Stroman, he comes on board. The Yankees rotation, if everybody stays healthy, it's a pretty formidable group. You got Garrett Cole, who won the Cy Young last year. You've got Stroman. You've got Carlos Rodon. Clark Schmidt had a nice season last year. The problem after that is there's really nobody following that group. So if there are injury problems, that could be an issue for New York.
Yeah, I think the Yankees are just kind of gambling on that fact.
Taken to first base by T.J. Rumfield. And Mullins is out to open up the bottom of the first inning.
Yankees defense, Alex Verdugo in left, Trent Grisham in center, Rojas in right, Kevin Smith at third, shortstop Volpe, second base Torres, first base Rumfield, and then the catching is Navarez and Stroman pitching.
Here's Adley Rutschman, who will take 1 ball and no strikes. Rutschman, what a start he got off to a week ago today when in his first at-bat of Grapefruit League play hit a homer to center. This one going to center field as well, but Grisham able to make the catch on the front of the warning track, gives it a ride, but they're 2 outs.
And the one thing about Marcus Stroman is he's going to pound the zone. He throws a lot of sinkers, cutters. He likes to use a lot of hard stuff, and then he's got a really good slider that he finishes a lot of hitters with.
I remember last year with the Cubs, he made the All-Star team. It was his second All-Star team, and then you brought up those injuries, which derailed the second half of his season.
Yeah, and somebody like Marcus who goes out there and has an unbelievable first half like he had, and I think his July he had over a run per inning pitched, and you know there's got to be some other reason behind that than him just pitching that. It doesn't just go off a cliff like that. A guy who puts so much time and effort into his preparation to go out there and give you a great start every 5 days. So obviously injuries were a big cause of that.
Outcastle off the end of the bat. Volpe calls off everybody and makes the catch. So a quick first inning for Stroman. Needs only 7 pitches. We are scoreless after 1.
My bad cat reputation is ruined. It's Prime Video. All my shows and movies are here. I feel mirth, joy. Oof, they sicken me.
This spring is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model. All backed by America's Best Warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. But hurry, these offers end soon.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
By doorways, he can reach anything.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post 9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Now you got the flowers in Sarasota and a little bit more overcast today, but the Orioles and Yankees back at it. Jeff Arnold joined alongside by Brad Brock for another Orioles telecast on Masson. Cole Irvin back out for his second inning. His first inning was a long one, but he got out of it unscathed. He's going to start off with Kevin Smith, and he'll miss outside, 1 ball and no strikes. And we saw Brad in the first inning, a lot of 94s and a lot of 95s.
Yeah, definitely. I think when he goes out there, that's what he wants to do. He wants to establish his fastball. So he's out there throwing it, like you said, with good velocity and just going right at these hitters.
1 ball and 1 strike against Smith, who went to the University of Maryland. 2 balls and a strike.
An interesting interview I heard with Cole Irvin earlier in spring was him when he goes out for his warm-up pitches in between innings. He throws nothing but fastballs, which I thought was pretty interesting to hear. He said the way pitching is in today's baseball games, everything's off the fastball. So he goes out there, throws nothing but fastballs, and he said he'll get his feel for his slider, curveball, whatever after that. But he really just wants to be able to establish his sinker and his cutter while he's out there in between innings, which, like I said, for a starter, I thought that was pretty interesting to hear.
I was going to say, have you ever heard of another pitcher that has done it that way before?
If there is, I guess maybe I just didn't know at the time, but it's definitely an interesting way to go about it. And he has a great mindset with it because, like you said, everything's fastball dominant and heavy now. So everything's with the same arm speed. Everything you're trying to throw as hard as you can. So going out there with that kind of mindset is definitely an interesting way to do it.
Another thing that we heard from Cole Irvin is how he studied the cutter grip of Corbin Burns. We know that's Burns' best pitch. And he did that by watching Pitching Ninja to try and find a grip that would be better. And the results have followed. And he said, and I'm not sure if he's done it, but that he was going to spend some time talking to Burns about his cutter usage.
If there's somebody to talk to, that's probably a good idea to go after him. Burns has one of the best, if not the best, and that was a really good one right there.
Now, Irvin thought, I think he had strike 3. Instead, it goes full to Smith.
And the reason I really good pitch here, froze him. There's nothing the hitter can do there. It's whether the umpire's going to call it a strike or not, really. So at that point,
that one is foul of third base. And Jansen Visconti, our home plate umpire today, Veteran crew, Chad Fairchild, Laz Diaz, and Will Little work the bases, and they will shift positions as the game goes along. Now, the Yankees have worked Irvin in these first 2 innings. This is about to be the 9th pitch of the at-bat.
And there's times where you don't mind, I think, necessarily getting your pitch count up, getting to work on counts, getting to work on different things.
Well, Texas leaguer in the left field from Smith. Second hit that the Yankees have picked up in this game.
And once again, a ball that runs in on the hands and just blooped over the infield there for a base hit. Looks like the cutter coming in at him here, and just able to get the hands out and muscle it out over the shortstop. But when Cole Irvin's pitching, that's what's going to happen a lot. We've seen already 3 or 4 balls hit like that, either off the end of the bat or inside on the barrel label. So if you're Cole Irvin, you're not mad about that pitch right there.
Now J.C. Escara, the former Orioles minor leaguer, is up at the plate, and he takes a strike.
To me, going back to his cutter grip, the reason I really like Cole's cutter is that he doesn't do much with the baseball. He's not manipulating a lot. It's more so just kind of giving a little bit of a twist. And then he said he uses, it's more middle finger pressure as opposed to index finger pressure. So for me, I like that, hearing that, just because he's not messing with his fastball or his other pitches. It's just more so giving more of a stronger middle finger grip.
Just outside to Escara, 1 ball and 2 strikes, and he got to work very quickly in the offseason. Irvin typically would take about a month off between the end of the regular season and then into the offseason, but apparently he took like maybe a week or so and went right to work.
Yeah, and that's definitely unique to hear, a guy taking a week off, especially a pitcher. I feel like a lot of times you need to take some time off, but from what I had read, it sounds like he felt strong because he's so used to throwing, 120, 140, 150 innings, to where last year he only had about 75, 80, 85 innings for the year. So he just felt strong, and he felt like he could just kind of roll it into the offseason. And he was determined. He was determined to come back and prove that he can play a bigger role on this team.
Another 1-2 to Escara. Hit on the ground. This could be 2. Wong on to first. It's a double play, 4-6-3. As Irvin rolls one up, and there are 2 outs.
Pitcher's best friend there. 1 pitch, 2 outs. Looked like it could have been a sinker here. He kind of ran in on the hands and right to Wong. Wong with a nice turn to Mateo. Mateo back to first, and a major league double play right there.
When it goes to Colton Wong, it is pretty much automatic, as Carlos Narvaez takes outside for ball 1. It's kind of interesting that you have Wong now with the Orioles battling for a roster spot, and guy that he's competing against is Jackson Holliday, and we heard that Colton Wong was showing Jackson Holliday some things about turns on double plays at second base. But Wong once played with Jackson's dad, Matt, when they were in St. Louis.
Yeah, and I think it's like 2 ways you can look at that. You can feel like you're old, or you can feel like pretty proud of yourself because you've been around for a long career. So, Cole Wong, he was a staple there at the second base for the Cardinals for many years, and that is funny. Now he's competing against one of his former teammates' sons, though.
It's the second walk that Irvin has issued. 2 outs, man on first base, and it's going to bring us to T.J. Rumfield for the Yankees.
One thing I have noticed here with Cole these first 2 innings is the breaking ball seems to be backing up on him a little bit, so I don't know if that's... See if he tries to throw a couple here just to get a feel for it out over the plate. Everything's kind of been running arm side to him whenever he tries to throw one of those breaking balls in. He seems to have good feel for his sinker and his cutter. It's just the breaking balls are he's kind of losing them arm side, maybe dragging just a little bit. Another good sinker there.
There's a chopper to first base. Mountcastle feeds Irvin. Gets the putout, so the double play helps Irvin. We head to the middle of the second at Ed Smith Stadium. Still scoreless.
This spring is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. But hurry, these offers end soon.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
At the Community Food Bank of New Jersey.
We are working.
Now more than ever.
To fill the emptiness caused by hunger.
We are the state's largest anti-hunger organization.
And together with our 800+ community partners,
we are committed to delivering food,
help,
and hope
to our hundreds and thousands of neighbors in need.
Join us today.
Yeah. Now we start the bottom of the second inning, and we're excited to be joined by the new Orioles pitching coach in Drew French. Drew, Jeff Arnold, and Brad Brock with you. What have you been seeing so far these first two innings from Cole Irvin?
I mean, he's got really, really good command. I was just saying that, 2 of the 40-some-odd pitches he's thrown have been balls out of hand. So he's right around it, and a couple close ones here, but really commanding both the cutter, the 4-seam, and the 2-seam. Changeup's been really nice at this point. Slider, we got to try to get going in this third up.
Drew, Brad Brock here. Just curious about how your feelings have been so far with the Orioles this year, and what it is for you that you're getting ready. Because just like all the pitchers are trying to get ready, I'm sure you're trying to establish what it is that you need to get ready for the season. But just kind of go into that about how it is with the new team and what you're trying to do as a pitching coach.
Yeah, it's a really good question. It's obviously dependent upon being new or old in the organization, but first things first is establishing relationships with these coaches and these players and all the staff that's down here right now, and kind of trying to find out where everybody's at developmentally and what they're working on, and learning more about what their identity is, both as people and baseball players. So there's not really an empty moment for me, from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, but just trying to get to know the organization more as a whole, and these pitchers on a personal level, so that we can kind of hit the ground running once we get to opening day.
Drew, who maybe has impressed you the most pitching-wise? I mean, we saw Cole Irvin. He had a great outing last Sunday against the Pirates, but maybe another guy that stood out to you so far.
I'll be honest with you, man. When I got to camp, I was really, really pleased with where everybody was at, just in terms of like their ramp up and their readiness to be here in camp and to kind of do some things. So I would like to speak more about the group as a whole than any individuals. However, it's really nice to see Dylan Tate on the mound. It's obviously been special spending some time around Corbin Burns. Grayson Rodriguez is very, very talented, and we look forward to him taking some next steps this year. So I've just been really, really blessed to be around a really good group of people and to see kind of their, what they do and how they do it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Drew, do you have anything that you like to preach as a whole to the group as a pitching coach, or is it just kind of every guy is so individual, or do you have like an overall idea you like to give to these guys that have the whole pitching staff be under?
I think the thing that never goes out of style is count leverage. Being able to put yourself in advantageous counts, to use your entire mix, to generate some chase, and to get the hitters to make bad decisions. So the way I kind of break spring training down is I kind of look at it in 2 parts. And the first part is how much are we forcing contact, how early that is, and how often are we getting to 2-strike counts. And then the second half for me is really about the urgency to finishing bats, especially once we get to 2 strikes. So that's kind of been the, how I kind of prefaced camp once we kind of got rolling. And, right now I'd say we're doing a really, really good job of getting to 2 strikes. We could be a little bit better at finishing those at-bats when we get there.
A nifty double play here between Volpe and Torres. So they're 2 outs now. Drew, you did have Brad Brock actually as part of your pitching group when you guys overlapped in Atlanta. What was it like working with Brad?
short-lived.
I mean, working with one of the best human beings on earth.
No doubt.
You know, even though it was short, I spent a lot of time with him and Darren O'Day, so both have, you know, ties to the Orioles, which is pretty cool. But yeah, I mean, it was very open-minded, very progressive, very curious to learn and try to improve. And I remember, you know, a couple of times being in the video room with him and Darren and kind of breaking it down. But you know, it was an honor to spend some time with him.
I appreciate the kind words. That was nice of you.
One last question, Drew, real quickly. Update on John Means and Kyle Bradish. How are those two guys progressing?
Both really, really good at this point. Kyle had his biggest day of kind of this re-ramp for him yesterday, and he bounced back and he responded really, really well to it. So really excited with where he's at. He's actually on the calendar to throw a bullpen here right before the off day, and then John Means is just steadily plugging along. You're seeing the velo start to creep up. The stuff is starting to really get better. I think the confidence is getting to a point where he's about ready to face some hitters. So that's going to happen soon.
Really encouraging to hear. Drew, thanks so much for the time.
Absolutely, guys. Great talking to you.
Yeah, thanks, Drew.
Drew French, new Orioles pitching coach. And remember, I think I met Drew for the first time when he was the pitching coach at Bowie's Creek in the Carolina League. And his manager was Morgan Ensberg. And Ensberg said he's going to be a Major League pitching coach someday. And his first big league job as a pitching coach comes with the O's. Double play helps out Stroman. We are scoreless through 2.
This man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on.
World champions, team of the decade.
The Yankees are back on top.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Hey, I'm worried about your parents. We need to show them how to spot phishing emails.
Agreed, the scammers are out of control.
Plus, help them add multi-factor authentication.
Yes, we use MFA at work, and it's great. Software update? Done. Time to celebrate.
For more information on how to keep yourself and those you care about safe online, go to CISA.gov/secure our world.
We appreciate the time with Drew French, the Orioles' first-year pitching coach. We start the top of the third. It's a 0-0 game between the Orioles and the Yankees. Cole Irvin, we were told today he's going to go a little bit farther than his last outing. He's right around 40 pitches right now. And, Brad, as he comes out for this third inning, what exactly do you want to see? What do you want an adjustment to be here in this last inning, probably, of work?
I just like to see him land a breaking ball for a strike, even if it's a ball that's put in play. I just want to see him land that breaking ball. But from there, I mean, he's really done everything you can tell he's trying to do. And I think it's also great getting to face the same hitters again a second time around here as he just lands one there. So that was good just to see him be able to get it back in the zone and kind of just like anytime you go out there for an extended outing, it's your first time doing it. Being able to see him get up 0-2 on the first batter he faces, to me, that's a huge positive.
Trying to check his swing. They appeal, and he did not go as Anthony Volpe held.
And what I love seeing about a pitcher like Cole, who obviously knows how to pitch, is when an uptick in velocity, it can take him to the next level. And for me, that would be the most interesting point to see him moving forward, not just the spring, but in the season.
Got under the glove of Colton Wong, and for Anthony Volpe, 2 at-bats and 2 hits.
It looked like he tried to throw a cutter or maybe a four-seam up, and sometimes just underneath the glove there on the other side of the second base bag for a base hit.
Yeah, with a very bright future for the Yankees, won his first Gold Glove last year in his rookie season. They get Verdugo up. He walked his first time.
Yeah, this new look outfield for the Yankees is going to be interesting here as the season moves forward. Verdugo going to be sounded like going to be the everyday left fielder for the Yankees. So a lot of big bats, a lot of power, especially lefties that they acquired in the offseason at short porch and right at Yankee Stadium.
I think the real question, though, is going to be for the Yankees, because they are a team. They go as Aaron Judge goes. It's not to say he can't handle it, because he certainly is athletic enough to do so, but somebody of his size patrolling center field every day, doesn't that sound pretty risky to you?
It's a lot. I mean, you're asking a lot of a guy. You're paying a lot of money to go out there and hit homers and not.
Easy as pie. Mateo will into the bag, and he'll throw to first for the double play.
Nice double play there. But just to finish the thought on Aaron Judge is you're paying him a lot to hit homers, and now you're going to put him in center field. And Yankee Stadium gap to gap is a big park to cover. It's if you're looking at right field, yeah, it's short, but I mean, besides that, it's a lot of ground to cover, and I don't know. It'll be interesting to see how that pays off if that's what they end up wanting to do.
Now here's Gleyber Torres. He'll take a high strike on a breaking ball.
And to me, that's at least making a little bit of adjustments to strike. It's probably not where he wants to land it, but you're feeling okay with that pitch coming out the back door to the plate, onto the plate for a strike. Now he attacks again.
No balls and 2 strikes. Irvin has gotten 2 double plays and is looking for his first strikeout. Tried the breaking ball and missed arm side, which you were talking about in the last inning.
Yeah, and you can tell by his body language there, he's frustrated. He gives a little smile. You can tell he wants to land one of those really bad for a strike and where he wants to put it. And sometimes the springs doesn't happen, but it's a good thing he's got 4 or 5 pitch mix that he can throw some other stuff up there. One pitch I'd love to see, I don't know if he's going to do this outing or not, but a front door sinker to a righty. He talked about that in one of his interviews earlier in spring too. And to be able to throw the cutter in and then throw that pitch also, he's just going to be a ground ball machine.
He's got it, throws to first, and so Irvin, a bunch of outs on the ground today. He is through 3 innings, no runs allowed as we stay scoreless.
Wounded Warrior Project has been with me every step of my journey.
Aaron, how you doing, bud?
With experiences that help me realize that I'm not alone.
And specialized programs that give me the tools to train my body and mind.
Now, it's possible for me to get back out there.
To get out of my comfort zone and try new things.
To build and be part of a community that supports other warriors.
It's possible to get the help I need for me and my family.
I got my confidence back. I'm setting goals, and I'm achieving them.
It's possible to feel understood, whether it's day one or 20 years down the road. They've got your back.
And as each warrior's needs evolve, Wounded Warrior Project is adapting to meet them.
Because when we pull together,
it's possible to go further than you ever imagined.
It's going to feel like home. It's going to be electric.
This is the Yankees flexing their muscles.
I think he's just going to elevate everybody in that lineup.
He has the right demeanor to pitch in the Bronx.
When you play in New York, the expectation is to win a championship.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Wonderful Sarasota, Florida, and again the stands are packed. Last week when the Orioles opened up their spring slate, 7,950 people were there, the biggest crowd for an opener at Ed Smith. And it looks like everyone's come out once again today. Bottom third of the order up here for the Orioles in the last of the third against Marcus Stroman. And Colton Wong in his first at bat takes inside. You heard Brandon Hyde say about Colton Wong, as soon as he feels ready, I'm going to put him in there, and ready meant today.
No better time to get in the game than early on, especially when you're trying to make a team. You want to get as many bats as you can and give as many impressions as you can possible to the new coaching staff.
Golfs this one out to left. Verdugo with his sunglasses on makes the catch. And right now we want to welcome in Our buddy Robinson Chirinos, Orioles catcher from 2 years ago. Robbie, Jeff Arnold, Brad Brock with you. What is it like to be back with the Orioles this time as a guest coach?
How you guys doing today? Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be back here. I feel like home, coming back, seeing the guys, spending time with them. So it's been great so far.
That's awesome. Is there anything that you're in camp really wanting to help with, or is it just kind of overseeing everything? Is it the catchers? Is it hitting? Is there a certain role, or are you just kind of out, just kind of checking it all out?
Yeah, I'm trying to serve these guys as much as I can. You know, like I'm floating between the catching, hitting, pitching, and I'm just trying to spend the most time I can with them and just catch up, you know. I mean, I think in 2022, it was a great time for me with the boys and seeing what they accomplished last year. I'm excited for them, you know, what they're going to do this year.
Robbie, we saw you in Texas last year, and it seemed like you were staying pretty closely in touch with how things were going for the Orioles. How often are you texting with Brandon Hyde and talking to him about how things are going?
Consistent. I think we talk a lot. I follow the team, watching the game, not only Brandon, but also the players. And I feel like I'm part of this team. You know, we went from losing so many games in 2021, getting some momentum when I was here in 2022. And I feel like I have a little bit of myself, you know, with this guy, and everything is happening in the organization. So I'm excited just to be here and spending some time with them for sure.
First at grounds, this one foul. Robbie, I remember we also were talking about when you were with the Orioles, maybe one day you're going to manage. You're going to follow maybe the footsteps of Brandon Hyde, try and manage your own team at some point?
I would love to. I was telling Brandon today I was going to be around him the whole day, pick his brain and learn from the guy who's doing a great thing here in Baltimore. If God willing, you know, to take me that route, that's something I have in my heart, and hopefully I can do that.
Robbie, it's great to hear from you. Enjoy the rest of your time in Sarasota.
Thanks, Robbie.
Thank you, guys.
0-0 our score between the Orioles and Yankees going to the fourth.
Spring training is blooming on Yes, and we're your home for the Yankees with all the action from Steinbrenner Field. Watch the biggest names, the best prospects, and the newest Bronx star, Juan Soto. Yankees coverage continues tomorrow at 1 on Yes and the Yes app. Presented by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees.
If anyone knows the joy of rescuing animals, it's me. Just ask my rescues, who are all very important members of my family. Your life can also be forever changed by adopting a shelter pet. And it's not just about happiness your pet gets from finding a loving home, but that which you'll get from bringing them into your life. The heroes at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years, whether it's rescuing animals caught in disasters, ensuring the safety of animal stars on screen, or protecting our planet's endangered species. They go above and beyond to further their mission and make the world a kinder place for animals. Please consider adopting a shelter pet and support American Humane. You can learn more at AmericanHumane.org.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
Catch the O's opening series happening March 28th, 30th, and 31st versus the Los Angeles Angels. Tickets for opening day are limited, but plenty of great seats remain for March 30th and 31st. Buy now at Orioles.com/tickets. It'll be fun to open up the year at home this season. The Angels first, then the Royals. And here is a guy that you actually know pretty well, Julio Teheran, who came to the Orioles earlier this week.
Yeah, Julio's been around a long time. Finally got back up to the big leagues last year after a couple years battling injuries. Good to see him back up in the spring training here with the O's, and hopefully have a shot to do something with them this year.
And Julio Teheran, he will get a $2 million if he's on the 26-man roster, gets a signing bonus, and has an opt-out clause. He went 2 years without pitching in the major leagues. He had a shoulder injury, and then last year resurfaced with the Milwaukee Brewers just because their starting rotation was decimated on account of injuries.
Yeah, and Julio's he's kind of reestablished himself as a different pitcher now. He used to throw a ton of four-seamers when he was younger, and now it seems that he's got a two-seamer, he's got a cutter he likes, and he's got a real confident changeup that he always could throw, but now it just makes it more effective because he's throwing that two-seamer and cutter. I always love seeing guys who've been around a long time and kind of can reinvent themselves and still pitch at the big league level even after doing it for so long.
Rutschman with a sliding catch helps out Teheran, and there's one out.
Guys, good.
A really nice play by Adley here. It's got to be tough as a catcher when this ball goes straight up in the back, especially with the wind blowing. Got to get rid of the mask. Adley, one of the best back there. Nice sliding catch. It's always nice to slide so you can avoid that wall there. You don't want to get too close to that. So when you slide, you know at least you got your feet to stop you.
Especially in spring training.
Yes.
Now Jose Rojas takes outside for ball one. We were talking about Teheran, and it not only for you is when you were in the major leagues with him, but it also kind of goes back when it was in the minor leagues and you saw him throwing some gas.
Yeah, and at that time, Baseball America was doing their top prospects every year. It wasn't like it was online all the time, but we saw the name Teheran everywhere. And the High A All-Star game in 2010 down in Myrtle Beach. In the second inning, I think, this little pitcher from Myrtle Beach comes out there, and he's throwing 97, 98. And this is before everybody was doing it. Every single pitch was 96, 98, might have touched 99. And I just remember being like, who is this guy out there? He's the smallest guy in the field, but, man, he had an electric arm. And when I got over to Atlanta in 2018, I got traded. And one day I was talking to the bullpen coach, and Julio overheard me saying that. I remember him from the High All-Star game, and he just got this smile on his face. He's like, I can't believe anybody remembered that. But it was one of the more impressive things I had seen, and that was when he was one of the top prospects in baseball. And shortly thereafter, he's in Atlanta for 8-9 year stretch as one of the best starting pitchers in the major leagues.
And when he was in Atlanta, some other ties to the Orioles. He spent some time with Craig Kimbrell, when Kimbrell, of course, was at his apex, and then they were managed by Freddie Gonzalez, who's saying that it's great to have Teheran in camp just because of what he can provide to the younger pitchers.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he's seen it all, and he went through a lot of what happened in Atlanta, happened here in Baltimore, where they were winners, then they went through a stretch of really bad teams, and then he was there when it got turned around, and he got to see it all the way through.
Kjerstad makes the catch. Teheran has gotten the first two that he has faced. So the Orioles are making some additions this week. Julio Teheran was one of them. 12 major league seasons. At one point had 6 consecutive opening day starts with the Braves. 2 all-star appearances, and then Colton Wong, who is starting at second base today with a couple of gold gloves. 11 years in the major league. Certainly not a bad guy to have in camp either.
No, definitely. And the biggest thing I take from that graphic is 23 years combined between them in the major leagues. And experience is one of those things that you just can't put a number on. You can't put a figure on it. It's experience is experience, and these guys have been through it all. They've been through the ups, they've been through the downs, good years, bad years with teams, and they've been through it all. So I think if you're a young guy in that camp, I'd get around those guys as much as I could as possible and just kind of pick their brain. And even if you're not asking a question, you're listening to what they're saying, and that can go a long, long way.
2 strikes against Kevin Smith, who singled after a long at bat his first time. He'll rope this one foul. Good job by Cole Irvin. He goes 3 scoreless innings for the Orioles. Gets his pitch count up. 3 hits, 1 walk. Didn't strike anybody out, but was helped out by a pair of double plays.
Double plays are a great thing. I think it's kind of a lost art in baseball. It's a lot of times I feel like you don't get a lot of double plays in games, but it can really help a pitcher get further into outings.
Swing and a miss. So Teheran finishes the inning with a strikeout. He gets 2 outs in the air and won that way. Good first inning for Julio Teheran with the O's.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom. My dad is a hero. Homes for Our Troops built this house, and it's basically made for him. My dad can get through the wide doorways. When he is making our lunch, he can reach anything we need. He'll help me build tiny projects. Life is good here. Without Homes for Our Troops, we'd be living in a home that didn't have all these features that helped him.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives.
If they get a new house like this one, it'll help them do normal life. My dad's not just a hero, he's my hero.
Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
When I first had Jaden, I'd get comments all the time about how happy I must be. I remember thinking there must be something wrong with me because I don't feel all this joy I'm supposed to be feeling. It was hard to admit that, even to my doctor, but she told me it was postpartum depression and that is very treatable. These days, things are feeling right, even if they don't always go that way.
From beautiful beaches to charming downtowns and vibrant neighborhoods to world-renowned arts and culture and an exciting sports scene. Plan your next vacation to Florida's Sun Coast today at visitsarasota.com. And we are biased, Brad, but it is as good as any place to go in spring training. And you're a big fan of Columbia and St. Armand's Circle, aren't you?
Yeah, they got really good food there, and service is great, and if you need an adult beverage too, they got those really good ones there too. So not a bad place to be when it's sunny, 75, and beautiful sunshine out.
A daiquiri deck's not bad for those either.
No, they're not.
Just remember, they taste good, but please drink responsibly. That'll be Mullins, Rutschman, and Mountcastle. Stroman's been very efficient, so he is back out there for a fourth inning. And it's no balls and 2 strikes against Cedric.
And this has pretty much been Marcus's career. He goes out there, gives you innings, and constantly pounds his own and forces the offense to have to put the balls in the gaps and in the holes in the infield in order to get guys on. He's not going to walk you, and his stuff moves everywhere.
Mullins will foul this one away. No balls and 2 strikes. Well, we're pleased to be joined by today's Orioles starter, Cole Irvin. Cole, it's Jeff Arnold and Brad Brock with you. What was your takeaway from your 3 innings today?
Felt like I was around the zone. Felt pretty good. It's real sticky today, so I'm glad I got a little bit of the Baltimore midsummer heat. So, no, it was nice to get out there, get out 3 innings, pitch through some jams. It was a good day.
That's awesome, Cole. Brad Brock here. I'm just curious. Everyone's making a big deal about your velocity, which is obviously great, but is there something you can attribute to it more than, just going out there and besides your workouts? Was it a mechanical thing? What exactly was it, do you think, that is kind of attributing to this uptick in velocity?
I think it has a lot to do with just knowing how to use my body a little bit more efficiently down the slope. I haven't ever really had the coaching to maybe use my hips a little bit more, rotate, over my pelvis and those types of things. So I learned how to do that a little bit better than I have in the past. And I feel really explosive towards the end of my delivery. And a lot of guys are saying that that's what it's supposed to look like. So I'm just taking their word for it and running with it. And I'm just having fun, getting back out with the guys and playing some ball games.
Mullins gets robbed of a hit there and a nice diving catch by Trent Grisham.
Yeah, it's great, Cole. Was that the first time you'd ever gone to a facility like that, or had somebody that tread or the one out in Seattle, that the first time you've had somebody like that help you with this?
Yeah, I've always been kind of do a couple arm circles, stretch the arm across the chest, and let's play catch and get ready to go. I'll use the slope and use my catch play to get my arm loose. And so learn some new techniques, learn some new things over down at Tread, which is, near my off-season home in Charlotte. And so I just took advantage of it. Something I never really thought of for myself and didn't think it would apply. And there was a lot of things that I learned and was able to apply to my delivery and things that I'm doing pregame that I typically wouldn't have in the past. And it's just been really fun to kind of learn and expand on what I need to do to be ready.
Cole, I don't think it's talked about enough. You had a really good second half last year. You had some good starts, but even so, how much motivation did you have going into this offseason?
I had a lot of motivation. We're all looking at our careers individually, right? And I felt like I had a lot to prove. I feel like I had a lot more in the tank than I was given, and I think a lot of my pitch shapes and stuff were close, but not quite there for how I know I can get outs by getting ground balls. And I've been a fly ball pitcher for the past maybe 2-3 seasons, and when I was in the minor leagues coming up, I was a ground ball pitcher. So there were some things that maybe I changed or tweaked, and I just wanted to get back to knowing who I was, knowing that I can get a ground ball out when I needed to. Today showed that, and trying to add velocity to the cutter. That was a really crucial pitch for me last season, and I felt that if it's going to be a little firmer, a little harder, I'm going to get some better outs, weaker contact, and you saw that today, in those results. So that's what I'm looking for. So today was a good day.
That's awesome. I heard that you looked up not only Burns but John Lester's cutter. Is there a reason why you maybe looked at those? Was it to make yours even better than what it was last year, or just to kind of have different perspective on guys that used it differently?
Two different careers, right? One left-handed, one right-handed. And I think I looked at Lester the most in terms of what pitches he used to get guys out. And our pitch shapes, now with technology these days, we can look anyone up and figure out what their seam shifted wake is and all that stuff, and all the nonsense I don't know anything about. But Lester is really good at commanding that cutter to both sides of the plate, and got a lot of weak contact pitching in the Windy City. And I think just looking at how Corbin threw his, because he throws it a majority of the time, and then trying to figure out how a quality left-hander and John Lester threw his, and his shapes being similar to mine was kind of just where it all stemmed from, and that's ultimately where the curiosity stemmed from. I'm constantly trying to innovate and get better and find a new pitch to maybe get a strikeout or get an extra edge, and I'm just going to continue to do that throughout my career. I love this game. It's an addiction, and I love every aspect of it. To even just holding runners today with Volpe at second base, I had a lot of fun with that. He's bouncing around and kind of just bouncing back and forth. It's a lot of fun.
Well, Cole, great job today. Nice work over 3 scoreless innings. We'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Cole.
No score. Orioles and Yankees. We go to the 5th at Ed Smith.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on. World champions, team of the decade. The Yankees are back on top.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Be right there. Wait. Use the shovel and bucket of water, remember? Drown, stir, drown, feel. Then make sure it's cool.
Where'd you learn that?
SmokeyBear.com. Brushed up on some tips before we left. Don't want to start a wildfire, right?
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Orioles fans, every Birdland membership purchased by April 1st comes with an exclusive members-only Gunnar Henderson 2023 Rookie of the Year bobblehead. Select from a variety of membership options, including the customizable Flex membership. Visit Orioles.com/memberships and make sure to purchase yours today. With it being closer and closer, we're in March now, Brad, and before you know it, Orioles are going to be coming down that orange carpet and open up the season against the Angels.
Yeah, there's not many better days of the year than that, and that's an exciting day for the city, and just kind of get to re-celebrate what happened last year.
What a play by Mountcastle, feeding Dylan Tate. So Mountcastle, who was up for a Gold Glove last year, makes a nifty pickup and denies a scar of a base hit.
Yeah, what a great defensive play, and I think Mountcastle's defense has gotten so much better here recently in the last couple of years, and especially last year, and that's just a really nice big league play right there. As a pitcher, you love seeing that. First batter up and out, and move on to the next guy.
Now, we were talking to Tony Mansolino recently about Ryan Mountcastle's defense, and apparently Mountcastle called Mansolino when he found out that he was up for a Gold Glove award. But, you know, maybe Ryan doesn't give himself enough credit for how good of a first baseman he's become.
Yeah, I think a lot of times, too, when you come up in the minor leagues and you're seen as this big hitter and, you know, your defense is your weak point, they want to say. And I think for him, he just maybe hasn't realized that it's improved tremendously and that they really rely on him over there at first base.
2 strikes. Dylan Tate quickly ahead of Carlos Narvaez. First time that Tate got on the mound was Tuesday against the Tigers. He had a scoreless inning. As that slider is fouled away. And he really is, I think, a big part of the Orioles bullpen coming up. 2022, 67 appearances, and only the 6 home runs allowed, too.
Yeah, that's huge. He's a ground ball pitcher. That's what he makes his bread and butter on. He's going to get his swings and misses here and there, but he's going to keep the ball on the ground. And in today's baseball day and age, if you can keep the ball on the ground and not give up home runs, you're going to be a very effective pitcher and be relied upon a lot, which goes to show why he pitched in 67 games in 2022.
Strike 3 called. Carlos Narvaez is rung up. Dylan Tate with a good pitch, 2 outs.
A really nice sinker here. It looks like to a righty. It looks like it's going to be off the outside part of the plate and runs right back. And confident pitch right there by that guy. Just really interested to see if he can stay healthy this year, because he can be a huge piece for this bullpen that is probably going to need a couple guys to step up with Bautista being out this year. So some opportunities for guys, and hopefully Dylan can stay healthy.
Yeah, and maybe more important, because Cole Irvin likely going to be in the rotation. Tyler Wells, who probably was going to go to the bullpen, he is probably going to be in the rotation as well. And so it's going to be leaning on the different pieces that you have in front of Craig Kimbrell to get you to the very end. But you know what? Even when you lost Bautista at the end of last year, the Orioles bullpen still was good at doing that.
Yeah, and I think in September when Bautista got hurt, I think everybody was looking at, oh, here it comes, you know, they're going to lose their closer. So now the setup man has to become the closer, and Cano jumped in there and did a great job as the closer, but I think everybody else stepped up, and I think it gives every single one of the guys down there more confidence. I've been in bullpens before where the closer goes down and everyone kind of looks around like, okay, what's next? There's nobody else that's going to save you. So, I mean, now you insert Kimbrell and everyone kind of just goes back into the roles they were doing so successfully, and I think it just makes your bullpen that much stronger.
Hit on the ground to first base. This one an easier chance for Mountcastle. Really well done by Dylan Tate. Goes 1-2-3 against the bottom third of the Yankees order. No score halfway home.
Spring training is blooming on Yes, and we're your home for the Yankees with all the action from Steinbrenner Field. Watch the biggest names, the best prospects, and the newest Bronx star, Juan Soto. Yankees coverage continues tomorrow at 1 on Yes and the Yes app. Presented by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees.
Teachers are dynamic leaders, shaping a new generation. Innovating how they teach to prepare students for our fast-changing world. Achieving this takes skill and expertise. They're tireless explorers, creatively discovering a universe of solutions. Telling stories, experimenting, inspiring, mentoring, connecting cultures, and connecting with each other. Leading by example. Experience the unique joy of helping students thrive. Teaching is a journey that shapes lives. Are you ready? Explore teaching at teach.org.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Catch Orioles baseball anytime, anywhere on the Masson app. Watch games live and receive expert analysis and player stats all in the palm of your hand. Don't miss a pitch. Go to massonsports.com and download yours today. Now we've reached the bottom of the 5th inning. Only 5 combined hits between the Orioles and the Yankees. 4 scoreless for Marcus Stroman, who was doing what Marcus Stroman typically does. And so the new arm out of the bullpen for the Yankees, Cody Morris.
Cody Morris last year made 8 appearances for the Cleveland Guardians and comes over here to the Yankees and going to provide some depth for them. It's funny, whenever you look at the Yankees, they're usually guys that are not on the roster or all have major league experience. It's funny how it seems to happen with the Yankees.
By the way, that is $1 in the fine jar for the Cleveland mistake.
Yeah, no, that's just...
It's more during the regular season. We kid.
I caught it halfway.
Better than some. So 0-1 against Austin Hayes. He hit into a double play his first time, and Morris delivers a strike. It's 0-2.
You know what I love a lot about with a lot of the Orioles players is a lot of them have a lot to prove, I still feel like, this year, and I think a lot of them want to prove, like Austin Hayes last year made an all-star game, didn't have the best second half, and I'm sure he wants to prove that he can do it for a full season. And I think that's when you have competition with not only yourself but among each other on the team, I think it just brings the level of play to another level, and this Orioles team has it across the level. We saw with Cole Irvin talking about how he wants to prove himself again, and I guarantee if you talk to Austin Hayes about his season last year, he probably wasn't the most pleased with how the second half went, and stuff like that can go a long ways for a team.
Here's the 0-2. And Hayes will fight this one off. It's especially important because Austin Hayes has said he wants to be here long term, but you've got young competition on the infield, a guy like that, and Jackson Holliday, and then Heston Kjerstad and Colton Cowser. Cowser's had a good spring so far. Hayes will drive this one to left field. Verdugo going back, and the wind will push it out of here. A solo home run for Austin Hayes, and the Orioles take a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, one thing I can say about that Sarasota Stadium is when the ball is hitting the air to left field, when the wind's blowing out, there's a good chance you're going to be asking for a new ball. I've been there so many times when the wind's doing that. Not that Austin didn't hit that one well, but as soon as it was hit up in the air, you saw the outfielder turn around and looking for the ball over the fence. Real nice swing by Austin there. Caught a breaking ball up in the zone and stayed on it and drove right out into that jet stream out to left field.
First home run of the spring for Hayes, and now here's another guy who can hit the long ball in Kobe Mayo. And he'll take the first pitch as we see it once more.
Yeah, there it is. Just ball up in the zone, and Austin Hayes staying all over it. Ever since I played with him in 2017 when he came up, it's those pitches up in the zone, he just hammers them.
1-1 against Kobe Mayo. And he knows how to barrel up a good fastball. He got all that pull power. Last year, those started to hit the ball better to the opposite field. Strike 2 against Mayo. He has gotten off to a good start offensively, but Brandon Hyde has said that maybe it's the defense that Kobe Mayo's played at third base which has impressed him the most.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear, especially for a young guy like we talked about before, having those separators. And for him, I think for him, he knows he's going to be able to hit at some point in the big league level. It's whether or not he can field every day to make sure the manager can just pencil him in a lineup every single day.
And there you examine where Mayo ranks in the MLB Pipeline top 100 prospects. He's number 30. Jackson Holliday is number 1. And it shows the depth of the Orioles is that you make the trade for Corbin Burnes, and a lot of teams would probably have to give up one of their top prospects to get him, but the Orioles still have their 5 best prospects, and you just landed an ace this year.
Yeah, it's crazy that you can do that and still have 5 guys who land in the top 50 of Major League's top 100 prospects. So it just goes to show on how far the organization has come with developing prospects here recently.
Volpe with a long throw gets Mayo.
And like you said, to get one of the top aces in the game on top of all that is just incredible.
1 out now, and it's going to send Colton Wong up to the plate. Wong with a fly out to left field his first time up. Hits this one on the ground. There's Gleyber Torres, and he gets the putout. Second out of this bottom of the 5th inning. Orioles single game tickets are on sale now. Lock in the best seats to the top games. Tickets start as low as $12. Plan your summer at Oriole Park at Orioles.com/tickets. We can't wait to see everybody. And in the meantime, if you are thinking, what should we do this weekend? Maybe catch a flight down to Sarasota and see the Orioles play at beautiful Ed Smith Stadium. 0-1 against Jorge Mateo. He's going to move around. He has seen a bunch of action at shortstop so far, too. Hits this one in the air, but it'll tail foul and out of play.
Mateo's just one of those players that provides so much outside of the offensive game. It's almost like if he can just hit 200 to 220, he provides so much more outside of that number alone that he provides such a big boost to any offense or any defense that you have.
It seems like it'll be the speed that could get him on the roster. He showed an aptitude to play center field if he can play in left field. And if you add Mateo, then maybe you're going to just go with 4 outfielders rather than 5, but it's still something that is a long way from being decided.
Yeah, definitely. And once again, just making it harder on the people who are making the decisions, which is what you want with the team who's trying to contend for a World Series. You want to make it as hard as possible to put those 26 guys out there for opening day and to compete for a World Series title.
Mateo will see another pitch as he fouls it away.
And I mean, what a luxury to have a guy who can go out there and play great defense at shortstop anytime, you know, Gunnar might need a day off or whoever's going to play shortstop. To be able to plug him out there and feel perfectly comfortable with that, that goes a long way for a manager when he's out there trying to put a lineup out, you know, 4th day, game time day, and Jorge can provide that.
So he goes down on strikes, but the Orioles jump ahead 1-0, and it is courtesy of his deep fly from Austin Hayes. He knew it the moment, then he hit it, and the Orioles lead the Yankees at the end of 5.
Win big while streaming the Nets with Pick and Play on the Yes app. Make your picks before tip-off and win up to $10,000. What a move! Yes, Pick and Play. It's the game within the game, only on the Yes app.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on.
World champions.
There it goes! Back on top.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Have you been thinking about suicide? You can talk to me, Dad.
It's going to feel like home. It's going to be electric.
This is the Yankees flexing their muscles.
I think he's just going to elevate everybody in that lineup.
He has the right demeanor to pitch in the Bronx.
When you play in New York, the expectation is to win a championship.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Austin Hayes gets his first home run of Grapefruit League play. Out to left field, he kept it fair, and it's a 1-0 Orioles lead. Orioles will go back to the bullpen. It's been a strong effort by the Orioles pitching staff so far, and Nick Vespi coming on for his latest spring outing.
Just another Orioles pitcher trying to prove themselves and prove that they belong on the staff. Nick last year had 9 games pitched for the Orioles, so he's definitely going to want to go out there and prove that he can pitch more this year.
Now the first pitch misses down and inside. 1 ball and no strikes to Anthony Volpe. And this pitch will miss. 2 balls and no strikes. Orioles a couple of changes defensively. Michael Perez is the new catcher. And then the new second baseman is Diego Castillo, taking over for Colton Wong. Brad, have you ever scored a spring training game before?
This is my first time doing it, so.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, nothing like getting your first time here on mass and just letting all the changes come.
Well, you know what Ben McDonald usually does is he just waits for me to figure them all out, and as I say them, then he'll start writing them down. And it's also helpful to have one of these things, too. So there's Diego Castillo. He's at second base. Michael Perez, the catcher, and the rest, for now, still normal, which is what we like.
Yeah, usually I'm sitting down in the bullpen and not really paying attention to that a lot, so it's definitely a different experience having to make sure you get them all right and know what positions they're at and provide a little bit of information on them.
How loose is a spring training bullpen?
Way too loose. And a lot of times you're gone by the 5th inning because a lot of times teams let you leave. If you have a certain amount of years, 5 innings and you can leave, or 7 innings and you can leave. So it's getting close to that time where probably almost in the car going home. So
maybe listening on the radio.
Yeah, maybe.
There's Tim Cousins. Now the bullpen. Some other Orioles that are scheduled to pitch today. Juanis Charles is there. And we also saw Luis Gonzalez, who we might hear from later, too.
One of the coolest parts about big league spring training game is that you have all different types of experience. Sometimes you'll have, the team's closer be down there, or a guy's going to play a big role in the team that year. And then you have these minor league guys who probably pitched low A, high A the year before, and they're just itching to get in the games. And it's an interesting dynamic, and I know when I was out there, I would try to keep my ears open as much as possible.
There's the second out of the inning. So quickly 2 away for Nick Vespi. And it's going to bring up Gleyber Torres. And Nick Vespi, this is his 3rd spring appearance. He's thrown the ball well, last pitched on Tuesday. And his first outing was last Saturday against the Red Sox. And he was in and out in a jiffy.
And I feel like that's how he pitches a lot of times. You go out there, you're not going to see 95 thrown up on the scoreboard. You're not going to see anything crazy. But before you know it, the teams are switching field. And, he's in and out off the field quick, which is nice.
I mean, it's kind of one of the things that made the bullpens that you were part of here so good is you had a lot of different guys with a lot of different looks.
Yeah, and that's huge. I think a lot of times these teams want to put pens out there that just have, let's get the guys with a high spin rate, guys who throw the hardest. But I just after my experience here in Baltimore, it was awesome getting to see all different kinds of looks, all different kinds of angles, righties, lefties, submariners, sinker ball pitchers. It was really cool to be a part of a group like that, to where we all had our own strengths and we all felt as valuable of a piece to the bullpen as the next guy. And I think that goes a long way when you're trying to put together a big league bullpen.
That one got Perez in the mask. So Jansen Visconti will check on him, walk a baseball out. This is why, Brad, it was probably better for you to be a pitcher rather than a catcher. I
still watch some of these highlights, and I don't know who wants to catch, but it's a good thing they're back there because not many guys want to do that job, especially in the big leagues. They're getting hit all the time, half the time where the padding isn't. So
Torres lays off from Vespi, sending it to a full count. So another long at bat by a Yankees hitter. Yankees have been held to just 3 hits. Orioles 3 hits as well. And a swing and a miss. Well done by Nick Vespi. So he goes 1, 2, 3. And Orioles pitching has now set down 11 in a row. Middle of the 6th, 1-0 O's.
Spring training is blooming on Yes, and we're your home for the Yankees with all the action from Steinbrenner Field. Watch the biggest names, the best prospects, and the newest Bronx star, Juan Soto. Yankees coverage continues tomorrow at 1 on Yes and the Yes app. Presented by Montefiore Einstein, the official hospital of the New York Yankees.
Diversity is in our nature. Diverse cultures, identities, skills, and knowledge. Diversity is in nature, too. Biodiversity. Plants, animals, and ecosystems. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk now more than ever before. And our own future is at stake. So ask yourself, how can you contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
Eyes forward. Don't drive distracted.
Become part of the Orioles Insider. Receive exclusive news, highlights, ticket offers, and more. All delivered free to your inbox wherever you are. Visit Orioles.com/newsletter to join today. And if you have not signed up for it, please do. A lot of great content comes your way, and it's especially nice to get it this time of the year as we are in March and inching closer towards opening day. Orioles with a 1-0 lead on the home run by Austin Hayes. Cody Morris was the one who served it up, and he is back on for a second inning of relief. Kerstad rips this one out towards center field. That'll drop in for a base knock. Now Kerstad collects the hits. Orioles have gotten one in each of the last 3 innings, and he'll flip the lineup card over.
He's got something just a little bit elevated there in the zone and does a good job staying on it right up through the middle. Really nice swing there. Even though he's got a hot leg kick, his swing is very simple and straight to the ball, which is makes him a very effective hitter.
Mullins is 0 for 2 today. And the initial offering will miss. Yankees have a new catcher in the game. It is Josh Breaux. New second baseman is actually a guy that we have heard of before. That would be Jahmai Jones, once with the Orioles. So he takes over at second base for Gleyber Torres. The new first baseman is Ben Rice. The new shortstop is Jeter Downs. And the new third baseman is Caleb Durbin. It's kind of like going to the doctor's office when it comes to the changes and they give you a shot and then the doctor says to you afterwards, that wasn't so bad.
Yeah. You made it seem very simple there, so.
Well, I have some help.
Yeah.
That pitch is outside. And Mullins earns a walk. Kerstad slides up to second base, and the Orioles have built a little bit of traffic here. As there's Kyle Stowers. He's going to come on and pinch run for Mullins. They got Stowers at first, Kerstad at second. And this is Michael Perez, who, as we said, took over for Rutschman. Pitch misses low, 1 ball and no strikes. In left field for the Yankees, they've got Jace Avina. He comes on for Alex Verdugo. And the new right fielder is Brandon Lockridge. Inside corner for a strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. Perez in his career has bounced around. He's been in Pittsburgh. He was also in Tampa Bay a couple of years ago. Always need as much catching depth as you can get. And we were speaking to Tim Cousins, who works with the catchers recently, and he said, you know, every year you come into camp and there is some catcher who maybe you haven't heard of before or don't know very well, and they open your eyes.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a cool thing to happen at camp. I think there's so many players out there that it's kind of nice to go somewhere and get a set of new eyes on you as a player also, but for coaches too, to just kind of, it's almost better to have no knowledge of the guy when he comes in too, so you can kind of just critique him from having no knowledge, previous knowing of the guy, and just kind of see what he can do best and maybe make that a better part of his game.
Morris misses that one inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And I know for myself, when I came over to the Orioles, I mean, I had a little bit of success, but had a bad year with San Diego the year before. And just when I came over here, I had a bunch of new sets of eyes on me, and they really just kind of pointed out what I did well and just kind of ran with it and really changed my entire career. And I'm still thankful to those guys for putting the time that they did. And coaches, I don't think, get enough recognition for doing that. And the amount of time the coaches spend in spring training, especially on these guys, is just, it's incredible. They're at every single game. They're there early in the morning before you get there. They're there late after you've gone home and might even be in bed, and they're still there. And it's just this time of year is where the coaches really, really make their money.
You just saw a picture of Tim Cousins not long ago in the Orioles bullpen, and he said that he gets up every day at 3:30 in the morning.
Yeah, I know it's early, and I know it's changed a little bit, but for the coaches it hasn't. For the players, they want you to get more sleep. They don't want you to be there super early. They want you to get your rest. But for coaches, some things haven't changed.
So 2 walks and a single have loaded up the bases in the Orioles. A chance for some runs here in the bottom half of the 6th inning after Hayes' home run in the last frame. Now this is Ryan Mountcastle. Up and in. Ball 1 to Ryan Mountcastle.
And even though the stakes might not be so high right now, it's kind of nice to see Mounty get an at-bat like this with the bases loaded, knowing it's probably his last at-bat here, and he wants to do something. You don't want to go a day without doing some kind of damage or helping your team out. So these kind of at-bats are nice, I'm sure, for hitters to get during spring, to just kind of be able to work on maybe something they've tried to work on all season, but just kind of get out of this game with a good feeling in how your performance went that day.
He rips that one into left field. This is going to get home more than one. As Kerstad scores, Stowers coming around as well. It's a 2-run double for Ryan Mountcastle, and the Orioles with a pair here in the 6th.
And that's exactly what we want to see Mounty do there. Make a mistake pitch and hit it for a double and score a couple runs. Elevated pitch there, and just stays on and drives into left field, and that's what you're hoping to see a lot of this year. Doubles to the left field wall, and a lot of Orioles guys running around the bases and touching home.
Well, Ryan Mountcastle hits a 2-run double, and that is going to mark the end of the line for Cody Morris. So 3-0 Orioles lead as Mountcastle does damage with the bases loaded. We'll be right back.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on.
World champions, team of the decade.
The Yankees are back on top.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
If anyone knows the joy of rescuing animals, it's me. Just ask my rescues, who are all very important members of my family. Your life can also be forever changed by adopting a shelter pet. And it's not just about the happiness your pet gets from finding a loving home, but that which you'll get from bringing them into your life. The heroes at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years. You can learn more at americanhumane.org.
Well, that's a good way to finish off your day. Ryan Mountcastle hits a 2-run double with the bases loaded. That scores Kyle Stowers and also gets in Heston Kjerstad. And so it's Nick Ramirez, the new pitcher for the Yankees. And he starts off the pinch hitter Ryan McKenna with a called strike. Good change up there from Ramirez. No balls and 2 strikes. 34-year-old, but is coming off a really nice season with New York.
Yeah, 32 games pitched for the Yankees last year. 2.66 ERA. So obviously threw some decent innings for them and did a good job while he was out there. Bringing him here in a tough spot to kind of see what he's been working on this offseason and see what kind of role he can play for them this year moving forward.
Ball and 2 strikes. When you were pitching in spring, how much work did you like to get in Grapefruit League play with inherited runners?
I did enjoy that more towards the end of spring because it was kind of get your adrenaline going a little bit like it would during the season. Just the more outings like that as you're getting closer to the season help you really kind of control your emotions and control what could happen once the regular season starts. It's always hard in spring training games just because the intensity isn't as high as it is during the regular season, but it's always nice to get 1 or 2 outings out there where you're coming in the middle of the game into a fire and just kind of work on that because it takes a little bit of time to get used to that.
McKenna's strikeout victim. Austin Hayes, another chance, and he shoots it up the middle for a single. Perez scores. Retzback is going to come around as well, and so Austin Hayes make it a 3 RBI game. It's a big 6th inning for the Orioles.
And Austin Hayes doing what he does best, just not waiting very long and got a pitch elevated and drove it right back up the middle. The infield drawn in. He knows he's just got to kind of make hard contact, and it's through the infield for an easy 2 RBI base hit.
Well done by Austin Hayes. That's going to finish off his day as Errol Robinson will come on as a pinch runner. And Kobe Mayo looks at a strike from Ramirez. Best game of the spring so far for Austin Hayes. There's Robinson. Mayo went chasing. No balls and 2 strikes. Mayo stays on the changeup and fouls it away.
And nice to see Kobe end with a base hit here to end his day. 0 for 2 at this point.
They'll look at one above the letters.
It's a good take there. It's got to be tough to lay off that this early in spring, not seeing a ton of pitches all offseason. You come to a game, pitcher gets ahead 0-2 and throws a borderline letters strike. You take it and kind of get yourself back into the count here a little bit.
They check on Robinson at first base. Maybe the last at bat that Mayo is going to have today. And Nick Ramirez once was a prospect actually in the Brewers system as a position player and then eventually transitioned to pitching. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and a couple of inherited runners have scored as the Orioles went single, walk. Mountcastle hit the 2-run double, and then Hayes a 2-run single, so it's been a 4 spot for the Orioles in this 6th.
I always like to see that in the middle of a game, even if it's just spring training. You just love seeing a team extend the lead and just put some more runs and give a bigger cushion, and those type of things. I feel like they leak over into the season and can just cause good habits from the beginning to the end. And I feel like this Orioles team does a really good job from the start of camp to the end of camp into the season, just doing the right things when they're out there on the field to play winning baseball. It's contagious.
I mean, Ryan O'Hearn said it yesterday after the Orioles game in Northport. I mean, we're still trying to win, and the Orioles have done a lot of that in this spring. They've gone 7-1, and right now in the driver's seat, leading at 5-0 here in the sixth, and Mayo's going to ask for his timeout.
Yeah, I just think, good teams I've been a part of, there's certain things you do that start in the beginning of spring and they lead into the season, and there's certain things that bad teams that I've been on do that leak into the season. And I just think if you're trying to win a World Series like the Orioles are this year and trying to defend their title, you got to start doing the good things from the beginning of camp. And this O's team's they just really seem to be out there doing the little things throughout the game, regardless who's out there, whether they're a starter or they might start in the minor leagues or they're going to be a replacement here just in a spring training game. Everyone kind of seems to be on the same page when it comes to doing the right things.
And I'd said that the way that last year finished might have motivated his team even more coming into this year. And when someone who's asking about maybe the pressure associated with being the top team, out to third base, nice pickup by Durbin. He's going to throw to first and get the out. Robinson will move up to second base. 2 away.
Runner on the go there, and really nice pickup by the third baseman there. Really tough hop there, that big hop at the end, and stays on through the ball and makes a really nice play.
Now Robinson is still out there. He has good speed. And I'll bring up Diego Castillo. Came on to replace Colton Wong. Looks at strike one.
Last season in the minors, .313 average, 3 homers, 72 RBI. Has some major league experience. Watching some of his film earlier today, he's got a swing that reminds me a lot of Starlin Castro. But now that I've watched Gleyber Torres hit, reminds me a lot of Gleyber Torres too. Just, big bat waggle, little leg kick, and just kind of drives towards the baseball.
Guy that you can move all around the infield too.
Shocker, another guy who's versatile for the Orioles. It's just amazing how many athletes they found, whether through their draft or through trades or, minor league pickups. It's just amazing how they're able to find all these guys, and everyone just kind of fits into that mold of being able to play multiple positions on any given day. Not just at an average level, but maybe slightly above or even well above average too.
Another 0-2 coming to Diego Castillo, and he lays off the changeup.
I mentioned this when I was doing games last year, just the similarity I saw with when I was playing the Astros, when they went from losing over 100-plus games to when they started winning. They just had athletes all over the field. And now with Elias over here with the Orioles, you see the same type of mold where they're just drafting athletes and they're finding a place for these guys to learn how to hit in the minor leagues. And next thing you know, you have as many top prospects as they have.
Bermuda Triangle forms. Catch is made by Lockridge, who sprinted between, but Ryan Mountcastle got the party started in the 6th inning with a 2-run double. Austin Hayes follows with a 2-run single. He's got 3 of the Orioles' 5 runs driven in.
When you see all the people who work at Shriners Hospitals for Children, you might see everyday people just doing their job. But to me and other kids, they aren't just receptionists, therapists, or doctors. They're superheroes. But these superheroes are only able to help all of us kids because of the support of people just like you who empower their abilities so we get the care we need to live our lives like super kids.
Because of people like you, I can play the violin.
I can play piano.
And I can walk. Please go to loveshriners.org right away. Help us be superheroes too.
You need some help?
Your toe chains are a little loose. Could spark a wildfire. I could show you how to secure them properly if you'd like.
Sure. Thanks a lot.
Anytime. You should check out SmokeyBear.com. They've got a bunch of tips on wildfire prevention.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Orioles Baseball on Mountain is brought to you by Visit Sarasota, home to some of the best beaches in the world. Find your piece of paradise on Florida's Gulf Coast. Plan now at visitSarasota.com. That's paradise. Eating some Chick-fil-A, drinking a cold one on a Saturday, and taking a picture of the cameraman, who I'm sure appreciates that. And so there are all the Orioles fans out there today. We're going to excuse the guy in the Yankees hat over on the right. But it's Luis Gonzalez, who is in his second stint as a member of the organization, and he's going to come on here for the 7th inning. Orioles get 4 runs in the 6th, and they sent 8 men to the plate.
Really good half inning there for the Orioles. Up and down the lineup, all the guys. Good base running, hard contact.
Now Gonzalez misses with his first offering. 1 ball and no strikes. Last in affiliated baseball in 2021. See the 7.36 ERA. That is looped out to center field, and it's going to be a base hit for Trent Grisham.
It's a good piece of hitting right there. Trent Grisham's been around for a while now, and this is the reason why. He stays on the fastball, drives it right over the shortstop's head. Really good pitch. It was 94 on the gun. Down and away, and there's a reason why you hang around the big leagues long enough.
Now the Orioles, they made a number of changes offensively in the 6th. We'll have some of the defensive changes for you in the 7th. As it is fouled away for strike 1. Adam Retzbach, he is the new first baseman. He came on for Mountcastle after Mountcastle hit the double. Kyle Stowers, he stays in to play left field for Hayes. That one hurt. And then the new center fielder for the Orioles is Daniel Johnson.
Just another reason being a catcher is tough. Tough gig back there.
Yeah, that is the second time that he has gotten hit.
Yeah, and 2 innings, I think?
And Mark Shire's Orioles assistant trainer is out to check on Perez and make sure he's all right, but he has gotten 2 square. To play left field for Hayes. That one hurt. And then so the umpires are looking at Michael Perez.
These umpires feel it too. They're back there getting banged up just like the catchers are too. So
I know.
They have a nice close relationship.
It's a strange kind of relationship, so to speak, because the catchers will be bartering for strikes and arguing and sticking up for their pitchers every once in a while. But when somebody gets hit, catcher, umpire, usually there's a, "You okay back there?"
Yeah, they can hit each other, but if there's a ball back off of each other, and sometimes the umpire will even catch them if they get their breath taken away a little bit, the umpire will catch the catcher. And you said it's definitely one of the more interesting dynamics there is on the field.
1 ball and 2 strikes. This is Jahmai Jones up at the plate. He came over to the Orioles in a trade and has bounced around since. Hits that one through the right side for a base hit. Now the Yankees get a couple men on base after the Orioles have their big inning. And now Gonzalez will need to pitch with some traffic.
Just another good job of hitting the pitch where it's throwing a little breaking ball backed up on them and didn't try to do too much with it. Just hit it through the right side. Now they got some runners on here with no outs, and see what some of these young hitters can do.
Rice fouls the first one away. This is Ben Rice.
So this is the tough part when they start making changes and they get up to the plate and the numbers shown. There's no names on the back. And
This is why they pay me the big bucks,
this
Brad.
is it. Yeah, I get it now.
And it also helps. Your handwriting is much lovelier than mine. Mine kind of looks like an elementary school art project gone bad.
Hey, but you know what it says, I'm sure, half the time.
Well, yeah, exactly. Rice, a delayed swing at that one, fouls it away. Actually, Ben Rice went to Dartmouth, was a catcher out of Dartmouth, and a really good hitter in the Yankees minor league farm system.
Not too many guys from Dartmouth in the big league level or the upper minors, so.
Gets into this one, hits it well to center field. Johnson going back, and he makes the catch at the base of the wall. Everybody goes back. Daniel Johnson flagging that one down. Nice day offensively earlier in the week, and there makes a big catch and a well-struck ball.
Yeah, did a really good job going back on that little elevated pitch. Rice hits it deep to center field, and Johnson does a really good job just going back on this ball and keeping his eye on it the whole time. Had one eye on the wall, one eye catching the ball and keeping the runners from advancing, which is always huge. Once again, just another little thing the Orioles are doing, keeping runners from advancing bases.
Agustin Ramirez is the next batter. We actually heard from Brandon Haite. That's one of the things he's been happiest about in this camp so far, is that the defense has been very good for the Orioles. And last year, maybe in April it wasn't the best, but consistently the Orioles were getting their pitchers out, and that's something that the Orioles know. If you're going to go and get a World Series, you're going to need to play that defense at the same caliber this year.
Yeah, definitely, especially early on in the season when it's cold in the Northeast. There's not going to be some huge scoring games. The ball doesn't fly at Camden Yards especially well before the weather gets warm, so you got to be able to win those one-run games, which they did such a good job of last year.
Foul tip, 1 ball and 2 strikes against Ramirez. Facing Luis Gonzalez. Last year was in the Mexican League. Did well as well in the Dominican Winter League. Popped up by Ramirez, and Perez looks back, realizes no room.
You can tell Gonzalez has a live arm. He's not really locating the best right now, but he's still getting, pitches fouled back or swings and misses. Not the hardest of contact, so you can tell he definitely has a live arm, especially from the left side. That's what you're looking for. Live left arms. They don't come around too often.
Hit out to second base. Not an easy play. They can't quite turn the double play. It gets dropped by Retzbach, but it looked like Castillo had got the double play going. Errol Robinson then made a nice spin, and it was just dropped.
Yeah, it looked like a really nice play right there. Just not able to complete at the end, but you really like what you saw in the beginning here. Really nice play. The spin, turn, throw. And it happens. It's spring for everybody. Regardless of what level you're coming from or where you're expecting to go, it's spring training for all involved.
2 outs, the runners at the corners. Popped up. At home plate. And Retzbach redeems himself. Makes a nice play cutting across home plate. And the Yankees strand a couple men on base. So makes a mistake, redeems himself a short time later, dealing with the wind in Sarasota.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player.
champions, team of the decade. The Yankees are back on top.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
If anyone knows the joy of rescuing animals, it's me. Just ask my rescues, who are all very important members of my family. Your life can also be forever changed by adopting a shelter pet. And it's not just about happiness your pet gets from finding a loving home, but that which you'll get from bringing them into your life. The heroes at American Humane have been helping animals for more than 140 years, whether it's rescuing animals caught in disasters, ensuring the safety of animal stars on screen, or protecting our planet's endangered species. They go above and beyond to further their mission and make the world a kinder place for animals. Please consider adopting a shelter pet and support American Humane. You can learn more at AmericanHumane.org.
I don't remember a single thing I said because I blacked out.
Mateo is going 1-2 pitch. Ground ball. It's a fair ball. It's down the left field line. It's going to roll to the sidewall. Mateo loses the helmet. He's around third. He's going to score. This game is tied. This game is tied. This game is tied. You think I was a little bit excited there? The Orioles, they would go on to beat the Rays in the 11th inning, eventually capture the AL East title. A moment that Orioles fans are going to remember for a very long time. You can watch the 101 documentary here on MASN March 6th at 9 p.m. and March 10th at 2 p.m. or anytime on the Orioles YouTube channel. Brett, did you get to check out 101?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it was a good, great game, great atmosphere. I mean, what a day to be at the Yard.
I mean, it was incredible. And I said it, I think last year there were 2 times where I blacked out all year. The first one was when Adam Frazier hits the double. And you could tell by my reaction, I obviously knew what I was saying. And the other time was when I ended up getting engaged. So pretty special year and a great documentary. Nicole Ryder did awesome work, as well as the whole Orioles digital team. It's really good. The only bad part was maybe a little too much Brett Hollander.
He might disagree with that, but
Brett, that's a little bit of payback if you were watching at home. I heard what you said last week. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here's Daniel Johnson, who made a nice catch running straight back to the wall as Nick Ramirez can't find the zone, and it's 2-2. Hit on the ground to second base. Jahmai Jones gets the put out. 1 gone. Hey, I'm Adley. Can I get a pick? Wow. Look at that little guy. It's got to be an amazing day at the ballpark for him.
They'll remember it forever.
And a great, exactly, and a great sign, too, is Kjerstad gets plunked on a Ramirez off-speed pitch. I'm willing to bet that he was named after Adley Rutschman as Kjerstad turning into what looked like a misfired breaking ball, and it's going to be the way that Kjerstad will finish his afternoon.
Something tells me there might be a cluster of Adleys in this area of the country here over the last few years and the years to come.
Pitch is a called strikes and a stolen base. Etzel steals second base. So comes right in there, swipes second. His first one of the spring, and he had a good jump.
Yeah, great jump there. Pitcher maybe not paying attention to him at all, and just a great jump. And this is the part of spring training that's always fun to watch, is guys getting a shot to go out there and just kind of show what they can do, regardless if they're on the major league roster or they're not, or they're on the radar or not. They get to go out there and just kind of show the skills that they show all season long that the big league staff is now getting to see.
No balls, 2 strikes against Kyle Stowers, who's been great left on left in spring training. Fouls this one away. Now, he has hit lefties well in his time in the minor leagues, but it's been the thing it has stood out in the games. It has also stood out in the live BPs as well, being able to stay in there against southpaws, and he stayed on the baseball better.
That's huge. That's huge for lefties. I think that's what makes or breaks long or short big league careers.
Well struck right field. Lockridge going back at the track, and it's gone. Kyle Stowers does it again against a lefty. It's a 2-run shot for Stowers, and the Orioles' lead is now 7-0.
Something you love to see if you're the Orioles right there, coming off the bench and hitting a 2-run home run off of lefty, which is huge. Like you were just talking about with left on left, that's pretty much what makes or breaks lefties for their major league careers, if they can hit lefties. And Stowers really put a jolt into that one.
Kyle Stowers goes deep, second Orioles home run of the day. And Michael Perez swings and misses.
Here it is here, just something elevated out over the plate. And in today's baseball world, that is not where you want to live, with something off speed. Up out over the plate allows hitters to just really get their hands extended. And anytime you make contact up there, it's probably going to go a long ways because you're hitting it hard. When you can get your hands extended and something out over that you can just drive.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. That one is fouled away as we're now joined by Kobe Mayo. Got the start at third base today. Kobe, Jeff Arnold, Brad Brock with you. What did you make of your day out there today, and how has it been going, you think, so far at this early juncture of spring training?
Yeah, I mean, some days you're day like today where you're just feeling a little off out in front of some pitches, and I think the pitchers made some good pitches and put them in some good spots, and but I think when I'm using the whole field, I'm my best, and today just obviously wasn't my best, but I think I've had a good spring so far, and I'm going to keep putting in some work, and it's a grind every day. That's why baseball is the hardest game ever.
Hey Kobe, is there something you're trying to work on this spring? Is there something you're trying to improve, or just overall just get better every single day with everything you're doing, or is there one certain area that you're trying to improve the most?
I think defensively, it's been a kind of like a battle every day with just trying to be a great infielder, because I know my hitting's obviously been ahead of my glove over the years, and so I'm trying to do a lot defensively to get that glove up to speed. And then offensively, I feel like when I'm doing my best, I'm using right center field, left center. So I'm just trying to get that timing back to where it was mid-season and kind of like towards the end of the season. And, that's what spring training's for, trying to get that feeling.
Kobe, understand that you work out with Nick Vespi in the offseason. What is it like working out with Nick?
Yeah, it was really cool. It was our first offseason working out together, and it was a very successful offseason. We worked hard, and it was a tough one at times. It's not always easy working out with our trainer. He pushes us to be our best every day, and I think we learned a lot from each other. He's obviously been in this system for a lot longer than I have, and it's been cool just to see all of that.
Kobe, as a hitter, I know as a pitcher, being a pitcher, we always try to emulate somebody. Do you have a hitter that, growing up or even now, that you can look at video if maybe you're a little bit off, or someone that you try to emulate?
Yeah, I think not somebody that I try to emulate, but growing up I loved watching Manny Machado and Nolan Arenado, and I think in the recent years watching Austin Riley over in Atlanta at third, all around his game defensively, and obviously in the box is his biggest tool, but he's came such a long way from defense and hitting, and it's cool to watch him play, and I like watching him.
Kobe, I get to see you take some at-bats last week when the Orioles had their first couple of games, and you were looking really good, and you continue to, but who is maybe somebody that you have watched in camp and you've been like, wow, that guy's really good?
Yeah, I mean, you saw it right there, left-on-left homer. I think that's his third homer of camp. Stowers, he's been awesome. He's been putting in hard work, and even last year during Norfolk and just towards the end of the season, he has a plan going into the box, and he's so fun to watch. He's just an exciting person, positive, and I know he's a lefty, but I like watching him, and it's been really cool to watch his progress.
It certainly has. Kobe Mayo, thanks so much for the time. Have a great rest of the spring.
Yeah, thank you guys. I appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Kobe Mayo, a guy with big-time power potential, improved defense. He's had a really solid spring, even though he said that maybe he wasn't feeling his best today. Retzbach's going to take a strike. It's 1-2 strikes now. And this is Jesus Lorenzo pitching here for the Yankees in place of Nick Ramirez, who could not complete the 7th. Retzbach lays off 2-2.
I think what stood out the most there with Cody was just him recognizing everything that was going on today, that he didn't feel his best, and what he's looking at guys in camp and what he's trying to improve. And to me, that was a really impressive interview, that he knows what exactly he needs to do to improve himself and to what he's looking at around him to see what makes him a good big leaguer.
Well, Retzbach strikes out, but Kyle Stowers, this is his third left-on-left home run of the spring. He gets it out to right field, just over the outstretched glove of Lockridge, and the Orioles lead 7-0.
Sometimes I dream about you falling through the sky. Can hardly believe my own
eyes. Disasters don't take a break for the holidays. With your help, neither does the Red Cross.
Sarasota County government's annual economic report found that the Orioles generated more than $72 million in economic impact and created more than 970 jobs in Sarasota County from July 2022 through June 2023. Since 2015, the Orioles have generated nearly $585 million for the local Sarasota County economy since making Sarasota their spring training home. More than 1.3 million fans have attended Orioles games at Ed Smith Stadium, and if you have not gone, please go. It's a great place, and Orioles really lucky that they call Sarasota their home in spring training. Wanderson Charles is the new pitcher for the Orioles here, as there is his time across 2 levels of the minors with the Orioles last year.
And if you look at that strikeout number, that's a big number, 66 Ks in 45 1/3 innings for Wanderson. And Brandon Hyde's talked about how he loves his big arm, and they find places for big arms. And if secondary stuff comes along and more strikes are thrown, you never know what can happen in his career.
I mean, we're not saying that he is going to turn into Felix Bautista, but it could very well be a similar type story where somebody grinds it out for a while in the minors, eventually it clicks, and they come to the major leagues and do great things. And there is some nasty stuff right there as he starts with a strikeout.
And you can see why right there with that breaking pitch, and he's straight over the top, and that is just moving away, and you can tell by the hitter's reaction that oh man, I don't want to swing at that, but it's too late by the time it's there. And that's what happens when a pitcher's throwing upper 90s, 100, can touch 100. You got to make the reaction really quick. And if you get a breaking ball on top of that fastball, it's got to be a really tough at bat.
There's the first pitch strike. And Charles reaches triple digits. Has huge stuff, is what Mike Elias said. That is well struck out to right field. Etzel goes chasing it, but it's over his head, and it'll one-hop the wall for an automatic double. And that one was squared up by Lockridge going to the opposite field, and the Yankees with a double here and one out.
Yeah, and sometimes, I mean, it goes to show these hitters are really good too. It doesn't matter if you throw 100, they can catch up to it if it's not located well enough. It's an amazing thing what these hitters can do when they square up a ball like that. And a day like today with the wind blowing out, the ball's going to jump out to right field.
So the first pitch here is down for ball one. And our first maybe spring training faux pas, I was doing pretty well, Brad. That was actually Josh Bro who hit the double. This is Lockridge up at the plate now.
Hey, we'll take a one-hitter. Perfect game is one thing. We'll take a one-hitter for today.
2 balls and no strikes. Another sellout as well at Ed Smith Stadium, 8,204 here for this one. A little bit more of an overcast day than last time, but still very hospitable temperatures down there. Tap softly foul. It's 2 balls and a strike.
I'll tell you what, seeing a 2-0 breaking ball right there for a strike, that's big. When you can throw the breaking ball at any count, that's huge for a pitcher, especially this early in camp, and a guy who's trying to really impress the staff. That goes a long way. 2-0 breaking ball. Now you can throw a hard fastball here again. You can throw the breaking ball like you just did. The hitters are just off balance, and now you got a 2-2 count. And if you're the hitter, you thinking he's throwing another breaking ball, he's going to come back with 100. So it's 100 provides you a lot of wiggle room for error when you can throw that hard.
He's got a good breaking ball, an electric fastball, and then maybe his best pitch, kind of like Bautista, is his split.
See if he throws that one here. Which he does.
Looked like it.
Yep.
Full count now against Lockridge. Came on to play the outfield and took the spot of Alex Verdugo. Orioles getting runs in each of their last 3 innings. The big inning was the 6th, where they scored 4 times. And so he loses him. And it's a 1-out walk. 2 men on base. Berlin, the 2024 promotional schedule is better than ever. Check out awesome promotional items like the Brandon Hyde bobblehead, Mr. Splash bobblehead, and the City Connect floppy hat. See all 2024 promotions at Orioles.com/promotions. Orioles skipper Brandon Hyde looking on. It's been a good day for the offense. It's also been a great day for the pitching staff.
It's always good to see some good pitching, in my opinion. But always nice seeing a couple homers, too, for the home team, and especially at Ed Smith Stadium.
This is Avina up at the plate.
One of the things I always found interesting with spring training we talked about the other day was just the different trajectories of everybody while they're there at spring. You know, you have guys trying to make the roster, guys who are just there for a day, guys who already know are going to play a vital role for the team, and everybody's there all on the same field at the same time. And to me, it always was interesting because I pretty much had been in every spot where, you know, I was there for just to get a look and, you know, kind of, you know, get myself in front of the staff. And then I've been in a spot where I've been trying to fight to be on the team, and I know I'm on the team. And to me, the spring, that to me was always one of the more interesting things about spring training.
Johnson flags it down, and everybody stays put. The second out of the inning. How nervous are you if you're one of the guys who are in the game right now and maybe you haven't played a whole lot of games at spring training. I mean, when you're on the field and you're in the same dugout or in the same bullpen as some of these big leaguers, what's it like those first couple of times?
Yeah, it's crazy. I remember my first game happened to be Ken Griffey Jr. was on the Mariners, and I didn't get to face him, but he was on the field right before I went in the game. And I just remember thinking, like, this can't be real right now. And it means a lot to those guys, and I think it's one of those things that kind of gets lost in the spring training thing, because obviously, you know, as a fan and doing these broadcasts, you're worried about who's going to be there in the big leagues. But, I mean, it means a lot to these guys who get to go up there, and I think a lot of times, I don't know if it's still this way, but you used to get meal money, so that was you're getting close to $100 a day at that time, when as opposed to the 15 that you got. So that was a big reason why. But you're up there and you're getting to get in front of the staff, and like I said with the coaches earlier in the game, they're there all game and they're watching, whether it's the 8th inning and it's 7-0, or if it's 2-1 and it's the 5th inning and all the starters are still in. They watch every single pitch. So I think it's just it means a lot to those kids and their parents and their families. I still remember getting the paper clipping from my aunt of the game I was in, and it was a spring training game, you know, towards the end of camp, and my name happened to show up in the box score the next day, and she cut it out at the USA Today, and I still have it somewhere in my house. So
wow.
Those kind of things are cool that you know, you don't really think about while these games are going on. It's hard to keep track of the names and who's playing, but it means a lot to those kids that get in the game.
3-0 the count against Jones. And Charles pumps in a strike.
That being said, it's not the most fun when you're getting towards the end of the camp and trucks are getting loaded up and you don't know if you're going to AAA, if you're going to the big leagues, and you hope at some point you'll get there. But it's always nice being there for that opening day roster and getting to go, especially here with the orange carpet. It's one of the best experiences I've had in baseball, and those types of things are really special. And you kind of take for granted when you're playing, and now that it's over, I can look back and just realize how special it is to make a big league roster opening day and to be involved with all that kind of stuff and be a part of some good teams. It's a lot of fun and an awesome experience for all involved.
Jones spoils this one from Charles, and it remains a full count. When you were running down the orange carpet, were you scared that you were going to trip?
That was always a fear of mine. I made sure, I think I had turfs on, because I did not want to have cleats and take one short step and eat it on the orange carpet, because I don't know, that would be either a really bad omen to start the year, or maybe that's get out of the way and it's going to be an unbelievable year. So
bounced on the ground to first base. Retzbach's got it, steps on the bag, and the inning is over. A couple of base runners for Charles, but no damage done. Good crowd of Orioles fans today. 7-0 O's.
This spring is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. But hurry, these offers end soon.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on.
World champions, team of the decade.
The Yankees are back on top.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
On Saturday, March 16th, the Orioles will partner with Mothers Helping Mothers, a nonprofit organization focused on providing basic necessities to entire families, to host a sock and underwear drive at Ed Smith Stadium. Fans are encouraged to bring new and unused socks and underwear, sizes infant to teen, with them to the ballpark and to be donated to those in need in the Sarasota community. A lot of great work being done there. There's a young fan out to see the game. Eat sleep, baseball. I think we fall into that category ourselves there, Brad.
Yeah, you have to.
So we go to the bottom half of the 8th inning, a 7-0 game. Orioles, you saw that big 6 where they scored 4 times. Here's McKenna to bat for the second time against the new Yankees pitcher. It is Nick Birdie, and he'll start McKenna off with ball 1.
Yeah, Nick Birdie last year got in a few games with the Cubs. 3 games in total. 3 innings pitched. Electric on, though. Looks like just from the last couple pitches, he can run it up there, upper 90s, and really good sweeping breaking ball. That new slider pitch that a lot of pitchers have been throwing since last year.
And we have heard about Birdie that he has open eyes in Yankees camp. Throws from that lower arm slot, big time velocity. He's had a lot of bad luck in his career. I mean, 2 times Tommy John and also thoracic outlet surgery.
Yeah, definitely. He's on a list you definitely don't want to be a part of, but he's made the most of it. And, you know, credit to him. He's come back from 3 major surgeries and is still pitching at the big league level. So credit to him for his perseverance and hard work, because it takes a lot of time and maybe more mental stress than anything else when you come back from injuries, especially those 3 different surgeries that he had.
This is the corner there. Full count against Ryan McKenna. Trying to get it going in the spring. And McKenna will lay off for ball 4. Base runner to start the inning for the Orioles. The MLB Ballpark app will complete your next visit to your favorite ballpark. Buy and manage game tickets, redeem offers, access exclusive content, and much more. Download the MLB Ballpark app today.
It's funny watching Birdie in the game now. This is kind of what baseball's turned into. Obviously, spring training, you're going to have guys pitch whatever inning. They're going to have good stuff, throw 98, 99, or whatever. But it's funny hearing hitters talk about how it used to be. You used to love the hit and blowout games because you'd have these guys coming in throwing 86, 88, and that's where you get your RBIs, your home runs. Now you're facing guys who throw 100, and for one reason or another, they just can't seem to stick at the big league level. It's just funny hearing hitters talk about how much that has changed over the years, and just goes to show how deep pitching and how far developing pitching has come in the game.
Yeah, and as pitching has developed, the hitting has developed as well with the way that different guys train. I mean, it's not anymore you're coming out, you're going to batting practice, and you're taking 15, 20 swings. It is you're coming in early, and you're going and working on a high-velocity pitching machine with those plyo balls like the Orioles hitters do, and it better helps prepare you for the guy that you're going to see that night.
Yeah, definitely. And I think just with the technology stuff, it's, you know what's a good swing, what's good contact now without having to, like, go off a feel, which I know when I first came up and halfway through my career, when you're throwing pitches or when you're in the batting cage, it's this feels good or that felt good, but you weren't exactly sure. But now there's no questioning it because you can go back and you can read the data, whether or not you squared up the pitch or, you know, what the velocity was on this or that. And it's definitely turned into an interesting part of where the game is at today.
There's a guy that you know, Adam Jones, one of the guest coaches that's in tow. You heard from Robinson Chirinos earlier on today, and so Jonesy getting to spend some time with his talented young Orioles team.
Guys can learn a few things from him, both sides of the ball. He's a pretty good defender in his day and can hit the ball. He hit a few home runs here at Camden Yards. So.
And our pal Ben McDonald, he was in uniform last week, spending some time with the pitchers. Strike 3. That's a nasty breaking ball, and Robinson bailed out.
And just another example, if you didn't know already how hard it is to hit major league pitching, there's a perfect example right there. I mean, he thinks it's going to hit him in the head, and it's a called strike. So it's it just goes to show what some of these pitchers can do with their breaking balls and the kind of spin they can get on these pitches. My recommendation is don't think you can hit big league hitting or big league pitching because it's really tough.
Outside for ball 1, and it might explain some of the struggles that a guy like a Colton Cowser's had, even Adley Rutschman had when he got up to the major leagues. We've heard it time and time again. In no way, shape, or form can AAA pitching match up with big league pitching.
Yeah, and I think you'll run into arms or you'll see bats that you know are big league bats or big league arms, but there's something that is keeping them from being in the big leagues. And when you get to the big leagues, you're there for a reason, and especially guys who have stuck around for a long time, there's a reason why they've been there for a while. And it's just hard to fathom what these guys can do with the baseball now. Like we said, with the training, the advanced training they have now and everything, it's crazy at how these pitchers can spin the ball and how they can throw their different types of fastballs, and every pitch looks the same and it's coming out of the same tunnel, and it is a different era of baseball, that's for sure.
1 ball and 2 strikes. This is Colin Burns up at bat. 6th spring game that he has played in. And he'll take strike 3. And it's another one of those breaking balls from Birdie.
Yeah, and going back to what I said with the hitters and trying to figure out the way pitching is today, you can see this breaking ball. It looks like it's going to fall off the outside part of the plate and takes a hard left. And I talked to a former teammate last year who had spent a bunch of years in the big leagues, and he said, I finally figured out how to hit the high fastball, and now they're throwing that slider that everyone's throwing now, and it's just the one that's just taken off. And he's like, so I have to decide whether to hit 96 and it hits my hip, or it's going to be a breaking ball that's off the plate. And he's like, you have a split second to decide whether or not you want to swing and whether it's going to be a good enough hit. There's just so many things with hitting that make it so tough.
Pitching and hitting, game of chess.
Yeah, and that's why I was glad I was pitching, because I don't know how these guys go out there every single day and just face this nonstop. And hey, 3 for 10, you're an all-star, and what a great year. You're getting out 7 out of 10 times. It's an interesting mindset to have.
1-1 against Castillo. Ryan McKenna is on at first after he walked. And it's a knee-high strike 2. Castillo felt that was low.
Makes you think he's going to throw it again here for a 3rd strikeout. Another slider. That's why you don't, and that's what makes hitting so hard, because you can sit there and play the chess game with it. And even as a former pitcher, it's impossible to figure out what's going on in that guy's mind when he's on the mound.
Hit on the ground up the middle. Nice backhanded pickup there by Jones, and he bounces the throw in. Rice can't handle it. Everybody's safe. McKenna slides up to second base, and the Orioles are not out of this inning yet. It's a base hit for Castillo.
That's why sometimes it's better to put the ball in play, because you just never know what can happen here. Not an easy play by any stretch here for the second baseman, having to go across his body, being all the way past the second base bag, and then throwing back to first base. But it's amazing on a daily basis how many times you'll see that play made. Any big league game you watch, they make it look way too easy.
Now all smiles there at second base. Jahmai Jones trying to pick it up. Johnson takes low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Orioles, they have only 2 more hits than the Yankees, 8-6. They're trying for the 4th straight inning to score a run. McKenna's at second, and Diego Castillo over at first.
Nasty. He's obviously got a really good breaking ball. That thing just goes off in another direction. It looks like a heater the whole way, and big swing and just no chance right there. That was a good one.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And that is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And maybe Johnson choking up a little bit more on the bat just in case triple digits was coming his way.
Yeah, it wasn't exactly triple digits, but it got close. 98's pretty firm.
In and out of the mitt.
Able to stay alive there. If he wasn't choked up, that ball's probably by him. So obviously a reason why he does it and gets comfortable with it there. That fastball up and in. He's able to just give himself another shot here.
27th pitch of the inning for Birdie. And he got him. So 3 strikeouts in the inning. They all come off of his slider. Orioles strand 2, but they lead by 7. We go to the 9th.
This spring is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. But hurry, these offers end soon.
Boost your streaming experience with live stats on the Yes app. Real-time features like player stats, game leaders, and play-by-play are available now on phones, tablets, and now on connected TVs. Live stats while you stream, now on the Yes app.
I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on.
World champions.
There it goes, back on top.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Scroll down to search the VHP collections and click. Make sure you're searching this collection, and with simple keywords, you can find what you're looking for. Visit loc.gov/vets today.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Orioles and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. At Smith Stadium, right near that gift shop, see all the banners that are up there, and that includes the 2023 banner for American League East champions. They'll beat the Boston Red Sox to wrap up the division title, the Tampa Bay Rays to wrap up a playoff spot. Logan Reinhart, the new pitcher, takes over for Charles, and he'll miss with his first pitch, 1-0. And then the Orioles, all the success that they had last year against the American League East, it was something to behold.
Yeah.
2 balls and no strikes.
When you have to play them the most of any other team, that's definitely a good thing to happen, and usually you're going to put yourself in a good spot when you win a lot of games against teams from the AL East.
Inside for ball 3. It's not many years where you can win the season series against every team in the American League East. It's so rare because it is the toughest division in baseball. And it's truthfully probably one of the hardest divisions in all of Major League sports.
And for whatever reason, especially the years I was there, it always seemed to be like one team that gave you trouble over somebody else, and it didn't make any sense. Sometimes it would be, Tampa, and they were having a down year, but they were the ones that gave you trouble as compared to the Yankees or the Red Sox. And I really don't know what the reason is behind that, but sometimes just matchups present you differently, and to come out on top and to have a winning record against every single team last year is impressive.
Reinhardt's 3-2 inside to Jones for ball 4. And going back to what we were saying about winning the season series against every team, 32-20 against the American League East, 8-5 against the Rays, 7-6 against Boston. You have to factor in some of the early games of that schedule. 7-6 against the Yankees, but then 10-3 against the Toronto Blue Jays. The Orioles absolutely controlled Toronto the entire way.
Yeah, that's an extremely talented group of players up there in Toronto, and to go 10-3 against them goes to show how good the Orioles were last year.
0-1 against Ben Rice. Even count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Who do you think is going to be the Orioles' biggest competition in the East this year?
I mean, flip a coin. It's always so hard to say. I mean, obviously you have to look down at Tampa. They won, 100 games themselves last year, and it's going to be tough. And the Yankees made some big acquisition. They acquired some big-name players, and they think they're in a good spot. So, I mean, I think I start with those two, and then even in Toronto, even though they weren't able to land the big name they were going after, they're still extremely talented, and I think a lot of guys had a down year for them last year. So it's, I mean, the AL East, you just never know who's going to be the team that rises to the top at the end, and that's why you play 162, and that's why you play every team as many times as you play them.
And the Orioles obviously feel like they are the best team in the bunch. Yankees, it will probably come down to health. It is a roster that has a lot of talent, but also probably some flaws. The Toronto Blue Jays do not get Shohei Ohtani and haven't done a lot to really upgrade their team, but they still have a lot of talent. They just lost Matt Chapman yesterday, who goes to the Giants. And then the Boston Red Sox, feels like maybe they've gotten a little worse. And the Tampa Bay Rays, they might lose Glass now, but you can't sleep on them, as this is lofted into center field by Rice. Jones going to round second and head to third base. Yankees sit up runners at first and third with nobody out.
Yeah, I think when you're talking about the AL East, I think with the Rays, you can never doubt them at all, because regardless if they get rid of pieces, they have 2 or 3 coming that same way. Nice piece of hitting right there. Stayed on the off-speed pitch out over the outside part of the plate and drives into center field. Yankees have something working here in the ninth. And the Rays, with I think as good as the Orioles have been at developing hitting, the Rays are that good at developing pitching. And they just have a unique organizational philosophy that it's next man up, and they just do a really good job with it. I mean, the arms and the angles, which we talked about earlier in the broadcast, I mean, they do that from the number 1 starter all the way to the back-end guy in their bullpen. They just have a different look every single guy that comes out of that bullpen. Or pitching staff, period.
Fouled out of play. Going down the line, Etzel gives it a look, and it's into the stands.
And I just don't think there's many divisions in baseball where you could point to a team and how they could win the division. And I think that's what makes the AL East just so unique, and the hardest one to win is there's a reason why every single team is in that division, and there's a reason why they could win the division every single year, and it's not like that everywhere else.
Breaking ball is in the dirt. Nice stop by Perez. Not going to be easy to go back-to-back American League East division titles, as we see that great block. Textbook there, getting his chest protector down in front of it. But the Orioles certainly believe they can do it. They're hungry, and they're hungry, especially how last year ended. Nasty pitch over the outside corner. Ramirez rung up on a great breaking ball by Reinhardt.
A really good pitch right there. And I think just going back to, the Orioles being hungry, trying to win more, it's how many times have you heard a team win 100 games and they're hungry to come back and do better? It just doesn't happen very often, but I think that's what happens in this day and age with the way the playoffs are. You have 3 or 4 bad days, and all of a sudden you're looking back at the season wondering what if. And I think that's going to be huge for the Orioles this year, coming back in and, just getting right back after it and wanting to get back into the postseason to give another shot at winning the title.
0-1 against Durbin, popped up his only time. And Logan Reinhardt misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. Logan Reinhardt, first time he's appeared in a Major League spring game with the Orioles, was in 2 last year when he was with the Mariners organization.
And to me, when you look at baseball as a whole, and a lot of people can say what they want about, the LA Dodgers, they had all of the money, and they pretty much have endless means to do whatever they want, but they've been in the playoffs. I mean, how many of the last 15 years? Almost every single season, and they're at the top of their division every single year. Look at the Mets last year; they had the number 1 payroll, and they were in the bottom of the NL East. And it's just the money thing does not equate to winning, and that's what I think would really ignite the fan base here in Baltimore, is if the Orioles are able to back up what they did last year again this year and moving forward and just having year after year of competitive baseball.
Chipped in the left center field. This one is carrying because it's into that wind blowing out to left center. Johnson flags it down, and a sacrifice fly. We'll see the Yankees get on the board. Jones comes in on the Durbin sacrifice fly.
He just does a really good job staying on this pitch and driving out the center field up into that jet stream, and maybe doesn't carry on most days like that, but long enough to get the runner in. But once again, nice job by keeping the runner off second base there on a ball hit to left center field.
And Johnson has played a good center field today. It's inside to Jeter Downs, 1 ball and no strikes. Downs was a former big-time prospect with both the Dodgers and the Red Sox. Hasn't had much success in the major leagues. Out to left field. He'll drop this one in front of Kyle Stowers. Rice up to second base.
As a Yankee fan, if you see that name Jeter, you must feel pretty excited about it, regardless of where that person's career is. You see the name Jeter, and you probably get a little excited seeing that.
Now, right on the nose. Feels like somebody that should be playing for the Yankees. And Perez is out to speak to Reinhardt. This has been a good day for Orioles pitching. Cole Irvin, 3 solid innings. Had to battle a little bit, but didn't give up any runs. 1 walk, couple of double plays. And then between Julio Teheran, Dylan Tate, Nick Vespi, Luis Gonzalez, and Wanderson Charles, that group over the span of 5 innings gave up only 3 total hits.
Yeah, I mean, really great job from the pitching staff today. And I'd almost even argue with Cole that it was good to see him go out there and have base runners. And a lot of times,
opposite field base hit. The stop sign goes up at third as Rice wanted to come around, and Retzbach cuts it off. Bases loaded now. The Orioles just need 1 more.
Yeah, another good job of hitting here, just kind of hitting the ball where it's pitched and hit out the right field and extend the game. I mean, it is the 9th inning here, whether it's the game counts or not, but it's, you don't want to make the last out, regardless if it's a spring training game or a regular season game.
2 away, bases loaded. And Lockridge stepping up. First pitch breaking ball is in for a called strike. A little bit of bullpen activity for the Orioles. Ryan Hennon is the one throwing. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
Somehow, regardless when the Orioles and Yankees play each other, it always seems to be like a final at bat type of game. Spring or not, it always somehow seems to be close when it comes down to the 9th inning.
All right, Reinhardt tries to put him away. Ball and 2 strikes, base is clear. And some cheers coming from this sellout crowd here at Ed Smith Stadium. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Orioles, they will be back in action tomorrow. As the Orioles tomorrow are going to be in nearby Bradenton to take on the Pirates. Line drive out to left field. So bring in a couple more runs for the Yankees. Rice is in. Downs is right behind. A 2-run base hit for Lockridge to make it a 7-3 ball game. And Brandon Hyde is coming out. And that is going to be all for Logan Reinhardt.
The Yankees have done a good job this inning here, just staying on the pitch, and once again, just not wanting to make that last out, making it difficult here for the Orioles to close this one out.
Now we're going to go to the bullpen one more time. 2 outs in the top half of the 9th inning. Reinhardt is out, and we'll tell you about the new pitcher when we come back.
Think buying fake products is harmless? Think again. Think fake cosmetics are tested and safe? Think again. Think that medicine you can buy off social media is high quality? Think again. Counterfeits are made in unsafe conditions, potentially using hazardous and even lethal ingredients that could harm you and others. Each year, billions of dollars worth of counterfeit products are sold in the U.S. I smell big crime. Think about it. If you don't know where the products came from, how could you know where the money goes? You're smart. Buy smart. Go for real.
My dad, he's a double amputee, and he's one of my favorite people in the world. To me, a hero is someone who fights for our country and freedom. My dad is a hero. Homes for Our Troops built this house, and my dad can get through the wide doorways. He can reach anything.
Homes for Our Troops builds and donates specially adapted custom homes nationwide for severely injured post-9/11 veterans and enables them to rebuild their lives. Join our mission at hfotusa.org.
Need to get one more out against the Yankees, and Ryan Hennon, who last year spent time between the Bowie Bay Sox and the Aberdeen Ironbirds, is going to come on and try and salt this away. Hennon will deliver a called strike. Great numbers for him with the Bay Sox. And then also a solid season with Aberdeen for Ryan Hennon.
And it's a save situation. No,
that's true.
Might not seem like it, but I always keep track of that.
No balls and 2 strikes. A tying run in the on-deck circle. 0-2 is Ryan Hennon. Ready with his next pitch to Avina. Strike 3 called. Ryan Hennon slams the door shut. The Yankees a couple of runs in the 9th inning, but the Orioles take it by a final count of 7-3. Kyle Stowers, his 3rd left-on-left home run. Big day at the plate for Austin Hayes. He drives in 3 of the Orioles'